Good evening from the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. I'm Kent Horman, delighted to bring you all of the collegiate volleyball action tonight when the IPFW Mastodons at 11-15 take on 11th-ranked Ohio State University. The Buckeyes coming in tonight with a fine record of 20-7, the final conference match of the regular season for both teams before they prepare for play in the MIVA tournament next week. Along with Steve Florio, who will assist me in calling the action tonight. And Steve, when you take a look at this match, maybe nothing on the line as far as conference is concerned, but clearly a lot on the line as far as preparing for the second season.
Absolutely, preparing for the second season, meaning the playoffs. And what a better opponent than Ohio State to start with, getting ready for the playoffs. And Ohio State, IPFW is always a good rivalry anyhow.
Certainly, they'll want to continue to build momentum. The Dons coming off a good victory last night against Rutgers Newark. I thought they blocked very well. I thought they did a lot very well last night. But again, this is the Ohio State University, number 11 in the country, a team that spanked IPFW in 3 straight games back in February in Columbus. So I think this will be important for the Dons as far as maybe their psyche going into the tournament.
Absolutely. If you can get over being swept 3-0, then definitely it gets you ready for the tournament. And yes, they did look good last night. They looked very comfortable, and they were blocking well.
If you're coaching this match, what are some of the keys as far as you're concerned that you think Arnie Ball will be imparting upon his club tonight?
Serve tough, but keep it in. That's always something you want to do. And pass well so that we can run an offense and be productive.
Steve, looking forward to working the match with you tonight.
Same here, Ken.
Well, that'll be the setup as far as this match is concerned. Again, not that much on the line as far as this particular match, but again, can the Dons build some momentum going into postseason play? We'll be back with more from the Gate Center. This is IPFW Volleyball.
Pizza! Pizza! Must eat. Wait. This? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man. Honey.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
IPFW has been celebrating its 40th birthday all year. Coming up on this month's edition of IPFW Up Close, we'll sneak a peek at the university's birthday present to the community, Mastodons on Parade. And we'll find out about a very important tool for students, faculty, and staff, the Writing Center. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Steve Florio and Kent Horman here on 56 Sports. Moments away from the start of this men's college volleyball match tonight between the Dons of IPFW and the Buckeyes of Ohio State University. Steve, this should really be a dandy, especially since Ohio State comes in here on quite a roll. Buckeyes stubbed their toes a while back where they lost 3 consecutive games. Rutgers Newark, Penn State University, and then Loyola of Chicago. What a story they've been this year in the conference. But they come into this match tonight winning 9 of their last 11, second in the MIVA, number 11 in the country. So clearly the Dons will have their hands full.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the numbers and the stats, the Dons are the underdogs. But I don't know, you got a senior night here. You got Mastashevsky being honored tonight. And, you know, maybe he'll raise his game on his special night.
And clearly this has been a roller coaster sort of season for IPFW, starting with the displacement of the setter when Dennis Santiago, the guy who they were counting on to be the quarterback at the start of the year, got a little homesick, decided to play professionally back in Puerto Rico. The rest is history. Arnie Ball, as he said, I think he was quoted recently in the paper as saying, I think I've used 17,000 different lineups this year. He joked last night at a meeting of the Royal Dons Club that last night's lineup was probably his 45th. Clearly, this has been setting and really playing by committee this year as far as the Dons have been concerned, and I think there's where we get that 11 and 15 roller coaster ride.
Yeah, the thing with that is, you know, when you're trying to find a right combo, sometimes it takes 45 tries or 17,000 tries. You know, and especially when you're trying to train different setters. But that 11 and 15 record is deceiving because many of those matches have been very, very close and could have gone one way or the other based on 1 or 2 points.
And you just saw a shot moments ago as you see a little pan of the Ohio State Buckeyes as they're applauding Coach Pete Hansen. Talk about a little bit of a rarity here. I kind of think of like opening night where you had Randy Johnson and David Wells pitching against each other for the Yankees and Red Sox, a couple of guys who each had thrown perfect games. Well, what a night this is. They just honored Pete Hansen, the coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. He and Arnie Ball, both members of the 400 Club. That is something special at any sport, at any level. But how about Coach Ball, Coach Hansen, both with 400-plus victories?
Yeah, you have two, as far as men's volleyball goes, two legendary coaches squaring off, both receiving really nice honors. It's definitely a very unique situation we have here tonight.
Well, we can talk a little bit about Matt Bashevsky, the All-American from last year. He is the lone senior on the Dons, and there is Matty right now as he is receiving an honor from Coach Ball. What a tremendous player he has been. What a contribution he has made to this program. Again, an All-American last year. No reason to believe he won't be one this year. And he really has been kind of the heart and soul of this team. And you can see some emotion right now from Matt, the last regular season match for the All-American Matt Bashevsky here in the Gate Center. What a player.
Yeah, what a player indeed. It'll be a great loss for IPFW, but you know, at this time, it's not to think what we're losing, but think what we have right here for this game tonight. And you're right, there's no reason he can't be an All-American this year again. 4th in the nation in kills per game, 10th in the nation in aces, and 20th in the nation in digs. That's All-American numbers.
You bet. And you only hope that Matt Bashevsky, what he's done his last 2 years, specifically this senior year, will really rub off on the other players, because clearly you take a look at a lineup tonight that Arnie will start 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores. I think if the players aspire to be anywhere near the level of Matt Bashevsky, then Arnie knows he'll have some special teams down the road.
Yeah, it's a good example to follow. You want to always learn from better players, and certainly he's one of the best attackers in the country, definitely on IPFW. So, you know, as a freshman, you definitely want to be in practice with him and learning from him and watching what he does.
Well, and that was something else that you were just alluding to. Okay, Matt Bashevsky, the lone senior. We talked really about, I guess, the brat pack that Arnie Ball has assembled. We talk about all the different lineups and the youth of this team. Well, the freshmen are no longer freshmen. The sophomores are no longer sophomores as we take a look 26 matches into the season. So if anything, maybe the helter-skelter situation sometimes will really help the growth and development of some of these players, because a lot of freshmen have seen significant playing time this year. Boy, will that ever accelerate their learning curve and their growth and progress at the collegiate level.
Absolutely. 11 and 15 with at any time they usually have 3 freshmen on the floor that never played this high level of volleyball before, and so to have 3 freshmen on the floor go 11-15, and like I said, some of those matches, that record could be reversed. It could easily be 15 and 11. It shows a lot of promise for the future for the Dons.
Well, the starting lineups are being introduced. First, the visitors, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and we can take a look at the starting lineups. And for the Buckeyes, Daniel Matthews will be the setter. Mark Greaves, and we'll talk about him a lot tonight. He is coming off National and MIVA Player of the Week honors. What numbers he put up? He'll be an outside hitter. Scott Spurlock, a middle hitter. Another outside hitter is Andy Cole. Another big arm you'll have to watch tonight. Mike Walligman will also be an outside hitter. Another middle will be Lane Driven. And the libero tonight will be Connor Martin. That's the starting lineup for the Ohio State Buckeyes. 20-7, 13-2 in the MIVA, coached by Pete Hansen in his 21st year. The assistants Tim Embaugh and Matt Martin. Here is the starting lineup for the IPFW Mastodons. The freshman, Mike Marisi, gets the call at libero. Another freshman, Brock Ulrich, will be an outside hitter. Sophomore Josh Collins also on the outside. Sophomore Mike Randolph gets the start tonight at that crucial setting position. And then the other outside hitter, the All-American, the senior, Matt Bashevsky. Middle, and what a night he had last night, especially in the blocking department, Serdar Sicha. And in the other middle, another one of these talented freshmen, the kitty core of IPFW, Josh Stewart, the 6'8" freshman out of St. Mary's, Ohio, and of course the head coach in his 25th season, Arnie Ball, just basically is volleyball in these parts. Look at that record, 406 wins. And Arnie, of course, is assisted by Mark Franke, Ryan Perrott, and Dennis Johnson. Good crowd has made its way into the Gate Center tonight for the regular season finale as the teams will exchange handshakes at the net. Arnie Ball, of course, shaking hands with his longtime rival and buddy, Pete Hansen. Pete, a 79 graduate of Ball State University. Boy, many a tilt these guys have had against each other over the years. And now the teams, the starters, are huddling and we'll be set for volleyball here in just a moment. The officials for tonight's match, Rod Rodriguez and Dave Sines. And then working the lines will be Bill Barone and Mike Alejandro. Well, IPFW would definitely like to have some payback for a defeat in Columbus when they were swept by the Buckeyes 30-21, 33-31, and 30-21. As we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Ohio State coming in here winners of 9 of their last 11 matches. Again, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride for the Dons, but coming off a fine victory last night right here at the Gate Center against Rutgers Newark. Yeah, they looked very comfortable last night. Let's hope some of that rolls over. Let's hope Matty Spashevsky wants to leave a lasting impression on his senior night. Daniel Matthews with the serve for Ohio State. The set goes to Sitcha, and right off the hop, we have... I think that was a net violation. Yes, we have a Buckeye in the twine, so the Dons quickly draw first blood. They have the 1-0 lead. Matt Bashevsky will serve it up for IPFW. Matt, a powerful server. The high toss hits the tape, but it's good. Now the set, it's a short ball blocked by Sitcha. Saved that time, though, by Drevin. Now another block by the Dons, but it's wiped out of bounds, and the kill will go to Andy Cole to tie the first game at 1. Well, the good news is the Dons block is already effective, turning one back and almost turning another one back. Mike Walligman, the fifth-year senior out of Cincinnati with the serve, bumped up by Ulrich, set by Randolph right down the middle, and Sitcha puts it down for the kill. Boy, Serdar Sitcha, what a force he's been in the middle this season, both offensively, but specifically with that block. Right, exactly. His blocking has been definitely one of his strengths, and the Dons doing a good job of starting off running their middle hitters. Ulrich with the serve, the back set goes. Big swing that time by Andy Cole, dug up by the Dons, and then another good swing that time by Ohio State, finds just inside the back line. That'll be a point for the Buckeyes. Looked like that was the player of the week, Mark Greaves, who put the hammer down, and we're tied at 2. Good bump up by Marisi. Randolph sets down the middle for Sitcha. Looked like Serdar fanned on that one a little bit. We got another net violation call here. Well, a break for the Dons. I think they called it on number 11. Scott Spurlock. Yep. Dons on top, 3-2 as Sitcha serves the floater. That's bumped up neatly by the Buckeyes. Back set again. That time it goes to Cole, but great save, kind of a self-defense save by Sitcha. Now a short ball is dropped over. Sitcha with a diving save. Shoot set goes across to Stewart, but he is blocked big time that time by Scott Spurlock, the 6'10 senior. Man, he puts those arms up in the air, and you have to worry about him getting hung up in the fans. He barely has to jump, huh? Well, the big swing serve that time by Andy Cole, the left-hander. Shoots it long, so that's a service error. The ball goes back to IPFW with the Dons leading 4-3 game 1. Best 3 out of 5. First to 30 by 2. If it goes to a 5th game, it's first to 15 by 2. Now Mike Randolph. Big serve that's bumped up neatly by Walligman. Now the set goes to Cole, but he dinks. There's a good dive save that time by the Dons. Stewart with kind of an off-speed. Now it's flipped back into the far corner, but just a little bit long. That time Matthews, the center, was trying to catch the Dons sleeping. Tried to feather the ball into the deep corner, about 2 inches too long. It's a crafty shot, and when it works, it's very cool, and when it doesn't, it hurts your team. 5-3 Dons. Randolph to serve it up again. Good serve, but bumped up neatly by Connor Martin. Now the set goes across that time to Greaves, and does he ever hammer that one down? Another kill for Greaves.
That was a great kill. He was facing cross court and sort of turned it down the line. It's a very deceptive attack.
Reeves' serve, bumped up neatly that time by Marisi. Randolph to Bashevsky. Bashevsky has the ball right back off his shoulder, blocked by Daniel Matthews. What a play by Matthews. Good swing by Matty, but the Ohio State block was there, and just like that, we're tied at 5. Now Greaves. Good serve, but a pretty good pass by Marisi. Randolph across to Bashevsky. Oh, and Matty just puts one down that just eats up Greaves. So Bashevsky with the kill. Dons go back on top 6-5.
Well, it looked like he just went right over the top of Spurlock. He went right over the top of a 6'10" blocker.
Now here's Josh Collins with the serve, and he floats that one long. So a service error against the Dons gives the point to Ohio State. Buckeyes to serve with game 1 tied 6-6. Spurlock with a little pop serve. Set goes to Stewart, off the block, and it's down. A good swing by the freshman. Josh Stewart couldn't tell if that went off the shoulder of Matthews or possibly Drevin. Nonetheless, it's a kill for the Dons, and the first for Stewart, who now is serving with the Dons leading by 1. Good serve, popped up, the back set goes to Cole, and Cole smashes it into the net. Well, Andy Cole, maybe that wasn't the best set to handle, but he hit that well into the net for a hitting error, and the Dons get a point.
Yeah, even if it's not the best set, you do have to put the ball in play. Looks like they're going after the freshman blocker, Brock Ulrich here. I wonder if we'll see another set that way.
Well, they shoot it across this time, and that time a huge swing by Walligman wipes off of Bashevsky. So Mike Walligman with the kill, and now it's 8-7. Now, there's no question this Ohio State club is huge.
They are big, that's for sure.
Bumped up by Ulrich. Back set goes to Bashevsky, and Bashevsky with another big swing and a kill.
Again, he hit right over the top of the block. Maybe he does have a little more hop in his step tonight. Not that he needs it.
Well, you have to believe Matt wants to make the regular season finale in front of family and everybody very memorable. Big serve. Oh, great pass, though. Short ball is set. What a great block by Sitcha. Lane Drevin thought he had all sorts of room to work with, and Serdar Sitcha doing what he's done so well this year, and that is just control that middle with the block.
Yeah, he gets his hands up over the net pretty quickly and just directs the ball, keeps it in play.
Boy, Artie Ball sure liked that play. Little jump serve that time by Bashevsky. Set goes across to Cole, and he gets it off the Dons block. That time wiped it off of Randolph and Sitcha. Buckeyes draw to within 10-8, and Mike Walligman will serve it up. A little floater bumped up by Ulrich. Randolph sets it back for Bashevsky, and another big swing and another kill for Bashevsky, and Matty is feeling it here early in game 1.
Yeah, you know, if you're Ohio State, you never want to play a team on their senior night. Usually the seniors want to make it the final lasting impression.
Here's Brock Ulrich, one of the most unique serves I've ever seen in volleyball, but effective. Good bump that time by Martin. Battle at the net, ball still alive. Sitcha again battling, and let's see if Serdar is over the net. I believe that's what they called. Serdar getting a little bit too far over the net.
That's what they call it. They're saying the ball was completely on the Ohio State side when Serdar played it. To be allowed to play it, the ball has to be in the plane, meaning part of it is on IPFW side and part of it is on Ohio State side.
Little short ball bumped up by Ulrich. Serdar with a beautiful dink. Oh, Sitcha, well disguised, beautiful dink, and the Dons pick up the point. I have to go back to the last play, Steve. From my view, I thought Rod Rodriguez made a great call. I thought Serdar did have the hands well over the net.
Well, he's got the best view out of anybody in the gym, so.
Sitcha to serve. Not a very good pass there, but pass a shot across. And that'll be a kill to Josh Stewart. I think Greaves thought he saved it, but Rodriguez ruled the ball rolled up his chest.
Yeah, it has to be an instantaneous contact, and he's saying it sat just a little long on his arm and chest.
13-9 now, the Dons with a 4-point cushion in game 1. Sitcha, good serve. Little back set goes to Cole again, off the tips of the fingers of Collins. Now a set goes to Stewart, and he puts it down. The short ball and the albatross. Josh Stewart, with those big arms, just smoked it right around the block. And we have a timeout on the court. I think Coach Pete Hansen has to settle his team down a little bit.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Well, back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, and that is some flashy top, I must say. Well, you could say it's a colorful crowd here at the Gate Center tonight.
Those are the wrong colors, though.
I know. Yeah, where's the blue? Folks, we got to believe in blue here, but so far, the Dons are believing in blue because they've moved down to a 14-9 first game lead over the Ohio State Buckeyes, and Serdar Sicha, who's been on a bit of a roll, continues to serve. Boy, oftentimes coaches call that timeout, if anything, to break up that serving momentum.
Yeah, you never want to miss a serve out of a timeout. Good safe serve by Serdar, and he gets good results out of it.
Yeah, Greaves really kind of muffed that. Now his swing is off the shoulder of Randolph. Little jump set, and Stewart. The ball is dug up and back over the net. Randolph back sets to Matty, and Matty just smokes that off the block. What a great one-arm save by the Buckeyes. Dons keep it alive. Now the set goes to Stewart. He doesn't get much on it. Buckeyes keep it alive. They'll have a chance. A great dink that time by Matthews. Here come the Dons. Ulrich dug up by Matthews. Now the swing by Greaves, and he puts it down. Oh, what a point. So far, the point of the match. But did we have somebody in the net?
Definitely, there was a net violation call, but I didn't see what number the official said was in the net. That was a great rally. Lots of great digs. I tell you, IPFW's transition meaning after the dig, running an attack, has been excellent so far.
Well, a good pass by Ulrich, and Bashevsky drills it off the block, but Matty saves it. And then what a great play for the Dons to put it down. Oh, Randolph very alert when he saw that ball there in some open court, just smoked it right in there. And now we have the timeout at 15-10, so the Dons on top, 15-10. We'll be back with more Dons volleyball on Sports 56.
You know, she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour. Unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Oh, baby, what a first game it's been for IPFW. The Dons on top of the Buckeyes, 15-10. And look at this play, Bashevsky off the block. Great save that time by Marisi, and then Randolph, the setter, found the open backcourt. Great point for the Dons, and that was the point that built them the 15-10 lead here in game number 1. Well, it looks like in the early going, at least, a little different match than what happened in Columbus.
Yeah, the energy is high, home court, and again, senior night, and it's been a long time, and like we said, there's a lot of freshmen on this team, so it's been a long time since that last match.
But out of the timeout, Mike Randolph, who made that huge play just a point to go, serves it long, so that'll be a service error, point to the Buckeyes, who now trail 15-11, and Ohio State to serve, and here is their talented Mark Greaves to put it up. The set goes to Bashevsky. Oh, and Matty off the block, but what a tremendous block that time by Scott Spurlock. That time, he got all that 6'10" frame up.
He did a great job of getting out to close that block. There was a hole that Matty was hitting for, but Spurlock closed it up real fast.
Big serve by Greaves, comes off of Marisi, rattles around the rafters. Dons will have to play a free ball. Bashevsky bumps it over. Now the short ball that time by Matthews is set to Scott Spurlock. And now it's a 15-13 game, and Arnie Ball is not happy with his troops, and he's called a quick timeout.
Well, Ohio State's answering back with some middle hitter transition of their own. Very hard to defend if you could snap off a quick middle hit.
Well, hey, fans, there is Arnie Ball, and speaking of the coach, you can join Coach Arnie Ball on College 56 for the Arnie Ball Show with highlights and perspective from Coach Ball and his guests. Host Mark Franke opens up the show on Wednesday evenings at 10:30 p.m., Thursdays at 7 o'clock, and Fridays at 5:30, right here on College Access Channel 56. You don't want to miss it, the Arnie Ball Show. Well now, keep your eyes on the ball. And there again is that big swing by Bashevsky where Matty thought he had some court to work with, but boy, Scott Spurlock, that guy is huge. 6'10" middle, senior out of Stowe, Ohio, at the Stowe Monroe Falls.
And he's showing some good lateral movement. And what I mean there is he's doing a good job of moving left to right along the net and closing up the hole so that the hitters can't hit between him and his outside blocker.
Now the Buckeyes to serve it up. Bumped up by Marisi. Good ball for Randolph to handle. A good set to Stewart, who just puts the big swing. And another kill for Josh Stewart.
The Dons are doing a great job of running their middles. And that's what you want to do early in a match, establish your middle hitters.
Well, Josh Collins with the serve, and the Buckeyes thought that was going to float long. I think it got up in that infamous gate center jet stream, and the ball knuckled right down inside the baseline for an ace. Now 17-13. Great serve by Collins. Here comes another. Set goes over, and the big swing that time is blocked down as Mike Walligman had the ball roofed right back at him by Stewart and company. Now the Dons pad it right back up to 5 at 18-13.
And this is a good rotation for the Dons. It's a good blocking rotation. And Greaves is in the back row for Ohio State, so this is when you want to try and take advantage.
Back set goes to Andy Cole, and that big left-handed swing was almost embedded in the chest of Mike Marisi. Marisi's very disappointed in himself that he didn't get the arms down in front of that ball instead of taking it off the chest.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
That's a little embarrassing, that type of dig, too, so.
Well, Scott Spurlock tries a short float serve, and he serves it right out of bounds, so there's another break for the Dons. Lead back up to 5 in game 1, 19-14. Josh Stewart with the serve. Good floater, played up by Greaves. There's a little jump ball at the net, a battle between the number 4s, between Matthews and Ulrich, and that time Matthews won it, just managed to stuff the ball down on the Don side.
That's what we call a joust in volleyball. That's where both players touch the ball at the same time.
Daniel Matthews with a serve. Good pass by Ulrich. Short ball to Sicha. Oh, one-handed save as he tumbles to the floor by Randolph. Ulrich tries to put the ball in play, hits the tape, and then it crawls out of bounds. So once Randolph fell to the floor making the save, things got a little out of whack and cost the Dons a point. Here come the Buckeyes again. Daniel Matthews, the freshman setter out of Shorewood, Wisconsin, with the serve. Good pass by Ulrich. Actually, not a good pass by Ulrich as it carried up over the net. And it was just hammered down that time by Brett Verson.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see if they try and go back to Ulrich here after they just got an overpass out of him. But the Dons just push Ulrich out of the receive so he won't be passing.
Big serve bumped up by Bashevsky, and the set goes to Matty. And Matty with a little change of pace, fans on it, and the ball carries wide. So now the Buckeyes had a 5-point deficit. It's trimmed to 1 as Ohio State with a chance to tie, serving trailing 19-18.
Well, I think IPFW is going to want to try and get the ball back to Sitcha here and get back to running their middles.
Pass by Bashevsky, and set goes back to Matt. Matt manages to get the ball off the block. That time it crawled down the body of Verson and Walligman. So, hey, they say sometimes they don't have to be pretty. Matt will take it.
No, as long as the ball hits the ground on the other side of the net.
And Bashevsky will serve it up. Tremendously high toss. What force on that? Bumped up by the libero Martin. Set comes right down the middle, and Greaves is just eaten up by Serdar Sicha.
It's a good matchup with the best hitter from Ohio State in the front row. You definitely want the best blocker on IPFW matched up against him.
Well, Sicha says to Greaves, "You may be the player of the week, but this is my middle in my house."
That's right.
Kind of an errant pass that time by Martin. The set goes over to Cole. He has to play a free ball. Randolph chases it down. Back sets to Bashevsky. Matty that time bumped up by Matthews. The set has to be by Walligman. Cole blocked by the Dons. They save it out of the net. Free ball played over to IPFW side. Set goes to Sitcha. Tries the dink. Oh, what a great save by Marisi. Back set to Bashevsky. The swing. Another good save that time by Matthews. Now it's Cole. Blocked at the net by the Dons. Here we go again. Short ball and put away that time by Brett Verson. What a point.
That was a great rally. I guess if you're an Ohio State fan, the highlight of that rally is the kill to finish it. But Mike Marisi, in my opinion, had the best play in that rally with the great coverage. 20 feet away from his position.
21-19, Dons by 2. Sitcha rips it off the shoulder that time of Walligman. Serdar picking up a clutch kill, so the Dons back up by 3 at 22-19. Kind of anxious moments for Coach Ball here in game 1.
That'll be Serdar's 5th kill of the match tonight, and that's 8 kills out of the middle for the Dons.
Ulrich bumped up by Martin. The set by Matthews, and a big swing that time by Greaves. Woo. Man, can this guy ever uncork that right arm?
Oh, definitely. He hits with a lot of pace. You better get a block in front of that because there's very, very little chance of digging it.
Good pass by Marisi. Set comes over to Collins, and Josh Collins going down.
And Kent, that's exactly why you want to establish your middles early on in the match. Serdar has been hitting so well. He had 2 blockers jump with him. Leaving no block for Josh Collins, and that's practically a gimme. Wow. That's a layup.
Well, Serdar Sitcha rotates out, and Jared Quillen, the 6'4 sophomore out of LaGrange, Ohio, will check in to serve. Dons on top, 23-20, game 1. It's been a dandy. And he serves it into the net. Oh. Well, there could be probably nothing more deflating than checking in to serve and then committing the service there. And I noticed
Definitely.
Jared actually had one of those last night against Rutgers. Diving save off a good serve by Ulrich. A bump pass over to Collins. He gets it over the net. Now here come the Buckeyes right down the middle. Walligman with a smoking swing that goes off the arm of Bashevsky, so that'll be a kill for the Buckeyes. And now it's 23-22, and we have a timeout on the floor. Arnie Ball wants to talk it over with his troops, and I think, again, Steve, the important thing is a couple times in game number 1, his team's been up by 5, only to see Ohio State rally. He wants to make sure his team doesn't let this one slip away.
Absolutely not. You want to get that lead and hold on to it, and what it comes down to is once you get that lead, you want to start passing the ball well so you can run an offense.
Well, we were talking about Mark Greaves of the Ohio State Buckeyes, who has 4 kills so far in game number 1. He was honored as the ABCA National and the MIVA Player of the Week. All he did is have 51 kills in wins over Lewis and Loyola last week. So this guy is one talented volleyball player, 6'4" junior out of Fenton, Missouri. It's one of the things I've noticed, too, looking, of course, well, the IPFW roster is about as cosmopolitan as it comes. But any team that comes in here, you've got players that they're getting now from all over the country and all over the world.
That's right.
Now there you see the replay of that tremendous point, and then finally put away by Brett Verson. Now back to live action. Good pass that time by Ulrich. Down the middle it goes. Stewart has his shot saved by Cole, and then a big swing that time by Greaves is off the top of the Dons block, and that'll be a kill for Mark Greaves, and just like that, we're tied at 23.
Well, Don's on the attack here, can stretch it back to 24-23.
Andy Cole's left-handed serve tips the tape. Randolph sets. Bashevsky with the dink, dug up that time by Matthews. They go to Greaves. Oh, what a great block by Josh Stewart. Oh, Stewart comes up big against the Buckeyes' big player, and he gives his team the lead again.
That was a great block. The footwork on both blockers was excellent. The footwork on the play before that was not. They got a little tripped up. And there you see, if you have some good footwork, what it can do.
Pass by Martin. Little shoot set that time. What a great save by Randolph. Well, Josh Stewart was placed in the setting position, and the whistle immediately blows, and he's called for a double hit. Coach Ball is not happy, and Josh Stewart knows that he made a mistake there.
And again, that's just a mistake a freshman will make, and you'll see those disappear as his career continues here. 24
apiece. The set comes across to Bashevsky. Maddie dug up that time by Walligman, but near the Buckeyes bench they try to keep it alive, and no chance for Andy Cole. So that is a kill for Bashevsky. Amazing that Walligman even got the wrists down in front of that ball.
Yeah, Maddie is always a high jumper. He seems definitely to be jumping just a little higher tonight. He's out to prove something, leave a lasting impression.
Bashevsky's 4th kill. The set goes to Cole, and his big left-handed swing comes right down the line and right at the feet of Josh Collins. So A big kill by Andy Cole, and we are even at 25 apiece. Game number 1.
At this point in the match, serve receive is really crucial. You don't want to let any points slip away. You need to start off with a good pass.
Dan Meske just checked into serve, and that was a beaut. Good dig that time by Marisi. Swing by Bashevsky, saved by Cole. And Walligman swings, and that's an errant swing. He sends that well beyond the baseline. That's a big point for IPFW. 26-25 now Dons.
The key right now to this match, and these last 5 points for each team, is who can hold serve for at least 1 point. Stretch it out to a 1 or 2 point lead, and you could win it.
Josh Stewart will serve it up. The freshman out of St. Mary's, Ontario. Good serve. Bumped up by Greaves, and what a crafty play that time by Daniel Matthews. Looked like he was going to set, even did the little jump, and then flipped it over.
It's a deceptive play, and you know, you really have to look at the setter as another attacker, especially with the way these guys jump in this men's game.
Matthews to serve, bumped up by Collins. The set goes to Sitcha, and Serdar, with a change of pace, gets it down the line. He got it beyond Matthews and inside of Connor Martin. Serdar goes, well, maybe wasn't my fastball, but it still counts.
That's an advantage to the middle attack, is it's fast, and so you don't always have to hit it hard because you beat him with speed.
Bashevsky with a good serve that almost eats up Connor Martin. Now they go to Greaves. Oh, and it hit the top of the block, and Marisi in the back could not dive and extend enough. Well, how can you extend when you're 5'6" to try to get to that ball? And Greaves will get a kill.
Those deflections off those blocks are very tricky. It changes direction, and you're moving one way, and all of a sudden you got to redirect.
27 apiece, and what a critical service mistake for Mike Walligman. A service error into the net to give the Dons a 28-27 lead.
Like I said, at the very end of the game here, you want to hold serve, and missing a serve is not one way to do it.
Now here's Brock Ulrich. Good serve. Right near the net, Matthews back sets to Cole, and Cole misses everything. The Dons have a game point, and this big crowd at the Gate Center will be on their feet. IPFW 29-27 with a chance to take game 1, and Brock Ulrich, the freshman from Winfield, Illinois, with the serve. It's a good one. A good pass, though. Matthews back sets to Cole, and Cole hits it into the net. Oh, they're saying he hit it off the chest of the Dons blocker and it rolled down his body. I thought for sure he hit that ball into the net.
But the Dons held for 1 point on that serve, and now they're still looking at match point. So crucial in those last 5 points.
29-28, bumped up by Ulrich. Randolph saves it with a set, and Bashevsky puts it down off the block. What a saving set by Randolph, and then what a swing by Matt Bashevsky to give the Dons game number 1, 30-28. Huge win for IPFW in game number 1, and we'll be back with more. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on Sports 56.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. Also left us this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
It was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
deciding game number 1, which the Dons won 30-28, and it was just going back and forth between the Buckeyes and IPFW, and who would you figure would finish things out? There's the great save by Randolph, and then Matt Bashevsky, the senior All-American, getting the big kill to give IPFW the victory in game number 1. And I'll tell you, Steve, I really think that was the game the Dons needed to win to establish the momentum. But what you said in the break, what a great volleyball game.
Yeah, it was a great volleyball game. It was pretty fundamental. At 25-25, that's a great run by both teams, and to hold that 1 point is all IPFW needed. They were automatic on every side-out opportunity from 25 on, and that's what you got to do when you get that that point in the match.
And you take a look at some of the numbers from game number 1. You made a really interesting observation about some of the kills.
Well, IPFW has 9 kills out of the middle, and they're hitting well over 500% out of the middle. More than 50% of their swings are going down for kills. They have more kills, Josh Stewart and Sadar Sitcha, than the rest of the team combined. And that's only going to pay off towards the end of the match, because what happens is the middle blocker has to start respecting the other team's middle hitter. And when the middle blocker starts to stay more and more with Sadar, it's just going to open up one-on-one situations for the outside hitters and the right side hitters for IPFW.
Well, we're set to start game number 2. It'll be Josh Collins to serve for the Dons, now moving from left to right on your TV screen. The back set goes to Andy Cole, and he says hello to game number 2. A big left-handed swing by Andy Cole, and he starts things off with a quick point for the Buckeyes. Brett Verson to serve. Randolph little back set to Bashevsky, and Maddie tries to flip it into the far corner. Now another back set goes to Cole. Kind of a change of pace. Saved by Randolph. Bashevsky sets. The swing by Ulrich. That's dug up neatly by Verson. And now Greaves had some room, but a little bit of an overswing, hits it long, and that'll be a hitting error, giving the Dons the point.
Good tough rally by both teams, both playing a little defense. But you never want to end a point on an unforced error. You want to avoid that as much as possible.
1-1 in game number 2. Josh Stewart to serve. There's an overpass and then some. Opportunity for the Dons. Set goes to Ulrich, and Brock Ulrich with a good swing, and Brock's got the kill. Dons on top now, 2-1 in game number 2 after winning a thriller to start this off, 30-28. Now Josh Stewart. Good consistent server, flipped up by Martin. The set is fanned on that time by Spurlock, so the Dons have a chance. Bashevsky saved that time by Martin. Now the set goes to Greaves, and Greaves gives it the gas. Wow.
He's some hitter, and he's going to get his kills tonight. He'll get his 25 kills. What you want to do is keep the rest of Ohio State in check.
2-2. Cole with the serve. Bumped up by Marisi. Back set goes to Maddie. Off the top of the block. Saved by Connor Martin. And there's that little flip by Daniel Matthews where the center becomes the attacker. And they're ruling. Oh, this is something that now Pete Hansen is very displeased with. And there's a yellow card. A yellow card comes out. I think the ruling on that little flip by Daniel Matthews, I'm not sure, but did Rodriguez rule he was either in the net or over the net?
The signal that Rodriguez gave was a net violation, and it was definitely called on Matthews. And he also was the one who received the yellow card. He must have said something out of line, maybe, that we couldn't hear.
Well, and Pete Hansen, the coach of the Buckeyes, was very displeased with that sequence of events. So scoreboard now reads 4-2 in favor of IPFW. I think that's what they were doing. They were checking the score and trying to get that all up to snuff. So Matt Bashevsky is waiting for the go-ahead to serve. And
if you're Ohio State and you feel that you got robbed on that call, what you want to do is side out right here. You don't want to let it linger. You don't want to be angry. You don't want to play angry.
Well, good serve by Maddie. There's kind of a bad break for the Dons because it goes off the netting that separates the floors. Otherwise, that would have been over our head into the seats. Now Brock Ulrich off the block. Bashevsky with the save, and that's going to wind up in the scoreboard. Well, maybe a break for the Dons. On that one point, clearly a break for the Buckeyes because that big swing was going to wind up about 4 or 5 rows in the seats, and the netting that comes down that they lower to separate volleyball from basketball kept the ball in play.
Absolutely, and That's the way it goes.
Well, kind of an errant set that time, but what a creative play by Bashevsky to at least get the ball over. That got the Dons a little bit out of whack, though, and Sam Stevens, who is now in the Buckeyes lineup for game number 2, gets the kill for Ohio State as they tie it 4-4.
And Ohio State's done a great job. They were not happy with that call, received a yellow card, and they've come back with 2 points. They did not let it linger.
Well, a big serve by Greaves, the Dons handle, and there's Serdar Sitja putting one down again to give the Dons the lead once more at 5-4.
And they just need to keep feeding Serdar. He's having a great match. That's his 7th kill. And until they stop him, keep feeding him is the way I see it.
Ulrich with a powerful serve. Connor Martin with the pass. The set comes across. Big swing that time by Sam Stevens. The Dons defend, and that'll be another block by Serdar and company.
You know, Serdar is ranked 10th in the nation in blocks per game. So to have him up there is huge for the Dons.
6-4 IPFW. Brock Ulrich. Set to serve for IPFW. Here comes the sidewinder. It's a dandy. It's an ace. Oh, what a serve by Ulrich. You know, Arnie Ball told a story last night about Brock, who I think is in his sophomore year, or at one point in his life, he was 5'6", and a year later he was 6'6". He grew a foot in 1 year.
I'm 5'8". I'm still waiting for that to happen to me.
That time the set down the middle goes to Scott Spurlock, and the big 6'10" middle didn't really even have to jump much. He had plenty of room and put it away.
And the Dons have been blocking the outside hitters really well, so we might see Ohio State try and run their middles just a little more and trying to open their outsides up more.
Well, a float serve that time by Spurlock drifts wide. Buckeyes have not served particularly well in this first game and change. Now the Dons move up to an 8-5 lead.
You know, they had the same amount of service errors as the Dons had in game 1. It just seemed that they missed them at pretty bad times.
Served by Serdar. Now the back set goes to Cole. Cole, what a save by Sitja. Bump set. Bashevsky tries to get it into a far court. Greaves saves it. Now here comes a swing by Stevens, and Sam Stevens wipes it off the Dons block for a kill. Yeah, a little different look to the Buckeyes in game number 2 with Sam Stevens in there. Here's the setter, Daniel Matthews, to serve for the Buckeyes.
Well, that's when you lose. Sometimes you try and change it up.
And that time that serve just eats up Josh Collins, so that'll be an ace for Daniel Matthews.
That ball had heavy topspin on it. It dove really quickly, and it wasn't moving as fast as it typically does. A little bit of a changeup.
Buckeyes looking to tie here in game 2. Bumped up by Ulrich. Back set goes to Maddie. Maddie off the block that time. Here come the Dons again. And I think we had a Buckeye in the net.
Yeah, that would be Brett Verson was in the net.
So another break for the Dons. They move ahead now 9-7 after winning a thrilling game number 1, 30-28. Randolph with the toss. Flips the tape. Look out. Well, the Buckeyes have to play a free ball now. Marisi, is it an overpass? They battle at the net, tipped over by Stewart. They stay. No, there is somebody in the net, and that time it was Mike Randolph.
That's a bad break for the Dons. You really want to eat those easy roll shots of free balls up and run a really strong attack back at the opponent. You don't want to overpass them.
Buckeyes close to within 9-8. Set comes to Bashevsky. Bashevsky is blocked. They'll try it again. Well, that time a pretty good set by Stewart. And the big block again, this time by the Buckeyes. Brett Verson along with Mark Greaves, and we are tied at 9. Well, Verson was a non-starter, as was Sam Stevens, but now they're seeing more significant playing time.
That's right.
Marisi with a pass right near the net, and the short ball is just smoked that time by Josh Stewart. Stewart with a little fist pump after that good swing. Dons back on top by 1 at 10-9. Kind of getting into that seesaw we saw in game number 1.
That's right, that's right. But Don staying with what seems to be the game plan, run our middles.
Set goes to Greaves, and boy, that guy is just about money in the bank. Here's a look at Josh Collins, just a sophomore, so he has plenty of volleyball left in his Dons career, even at 10.
It's a good matchup out there. It's Bashevsky on Greaves, 2 best hitters on the team.
And there's that little short set down the middle again for Josh Stewart. Josh Stewart starting to field a little bit, and he's picking up his game.
That is their 12th kill out of the middle.
Stewart to serve. Connor Martin plays it up. Back set goes to Cole, and Cole with the big left hand puts it down for the kill. Andy Cole.
That's his 6th kill off the right side there. Sometimes it's hard to defend a lefty since you don't see him very often.
And his left-handed serve clips the tape, but a good pass by Ulrich. Here's Bashevsky, and Bashevsky just eats up Andy Cole with that swing. So Bashevsky collects another kill, and again, the seesaw continues as the Dons go up by 1 again, 12-11.
That's Matty's 8th kill.
Really high toss, and he tries to serve for a corner. Looked like he tried for the hard slider instead of the straight fastball, and he served it wide.
Well, serving aggressively, trying to get Ohio State out of system, meaning that the setter is setting away from target, makes him a little more predictable and easier to block.
Greaves with a big serve. Pretty good pass by Marisi, and then Bashevsky with the kill. Well, it looks like Matt Bashevsky and Mike Randolph are really starting to read each other well, really getting on the same page. And boy, you give Matt a lot of balls to tee off on. It could be a long night for the opponent.
That's right. That's right.
Here comes Ulrich. Good serve. Well, a good pass by Greaves. The set to Spurlock. What a save by Marisi. Bump set that time, but Bashevsky has to play the free ball. Greaves to Matthews. And there's Stevens off the block, and the Dons save it. No. Sam Stevens with another kill, and that ties it again at 13.
The more effective the middle hitters are for each team, the more effective the outside hitters become. If the middle hitters are ineffective, the blockers camp on the outside hitters, making it much more difficult.
Randolph fires the set across to Josh Collins, and Collins that time was blocked by Brett Verson.
And there's an example right there of a predictable set. It was a bad pass. The setter had a run to make the play on it, and everybody in the gym knows where it's going, so the block can sit out there and wait on it.
Buckeyes with a lead at 14-13, but Bashevsky takes care of that. Boy, Matt Bashevsky is really starting to get into a groove, and now we're even at 14 apiece in game number 2. Dons took the opener, and it was a dandy, 30-28. And we're probably going to expect this for the rest of the night, for as long as the night might last. Here's Serdar Sicha, reliable server. It kind of eats up Stevens, and there is Randolph with the gift, just to pound it off the block for a kill.
And again, the tough serving breaks the passing down of Ohio State and yields a overpass.
Well, we've got a timeout in the court. The Dons lead game 2, 15-14. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on Sports 56.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. I made you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Well, we are rocking and rolling at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. IPFW taking on the Ohio State University in the final college volleyball match of the MIVA regular season. IPFW winning a thriller, game number 1, 30-28, and the second one is living up to just about the same billing, 15-14. Kent Horman along with Steve Florio here on 56 Sports, taking a look at the blocks tonight. And you talk about how IPFW is going to really have to try to control this match, Steve, with its blocks.
Yeah, well, one thing they've been doing is they've been serving pretty tough. They've been serving spaces and seams, making the passes move, forcing tougher passes. And if the passes are off the net, the set becomes a little more predictable and makes it a little easier to block. You always want to be insistent, meaning having your setter set right from his target.
Serdar Sicha coming out of the timeout serves the floater that's just a little too long. So after that service there, Serdar checks out. The libero, Mike Marisi, checks back in.
Again, you don't want to miss after timeouts. It's just a momentum killer.
Now let's see if the Dons can rally. Randolph shoots the back set to Bashevsky. Matty is up way high. He's blocked, but he digs it up. Now the set comes to Collins, and Collins with a good swing that time, and
I believe they said it nicked the antenna as it was passing through, and the antenna is out of bounds.
Yep, because I saw the ball go off the arm of Matthews, but he quickly, I think he heard it hit the antenna, so he was signaling to Rod Rodriguez. So tough break for the Dons. Buckeyes up by 1. Here comes Maddie. There goes Maddie. Big swing for Bashevsky, and now Greaves on the floor was not happy that he couldn't get to that ball. That's amazing that when you're playing in the back, you expect to dig everything, and these things are just coming at you so quickly.
They move way too fast. You
16
just gotta hope
apiece.
you get hit. You gotta hope you get hit by the ball sometimes.
And what a great serve by Randolph. That'll be an ace, and that kind of handcuffed Greaves as well. And I think Greaves was a little bit distracted by Andy Cole. And now there's a bit of a puddle on the floor after Greaves made that diving attempt, so he'll do a little maintenance on the floor.
Well, sometimes it was Greaves who was complaining that he didn't make the dig. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes after you don't make a play, you want to shake it off and be ready to make the next play. And sometimes if you don't do that, it can cost yourself another point.
Randolph looking for another good serve. Goes the other way. Good save that time. Now the set goes to Cole, and Cole just airmails that one way wide. And the Dons with a 2-point advantage now at 18-16.
In a match like this, a 2-point lead could be all it takes.
Well, this has been coming thanks to the good serving of Mike Randolph. Another one bumped up by Connor Martin. Set comes to Cole, and the big left hand blocked by Matt Bashevsky, but out of bounds. I'll tell you, that was just a tremendous block by Matt. Might have got it off the schnoz a little bit, but such force, the ball just carried.
I guess when you jump that high, that's the risk you take, right?
Yes, yeah. 18-17 now. Ulrich with the pass. Short ball to Stewart. Connor Martin has that one. Set comes down the middle, and there's Sam Stevens putting it down.
Well, Mike Randolph has been doing a great job of running his middles, but that set was just a little low, and for a guy who's 6'8", you got to raise that set up a bit so he can reach for it and hit over the block. That ball was barely over the tape.
Here's Sam Stevens, the 6'3" outside. Good pass by Ulrich. To his knees goes Randolph to set Bashevsky. Dug up very neatly by Connor Martin. Randolph to Greaves. Did he get it down? Yes, just inside the baseline.
And 2 good transition plays by Ohio State to turn the ball quickly back around and get a kill off of a dig.
Well, Arnie Ball's called a timeout with his team trailing by 1 in Game 2. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on 56 Sports.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Well, the Dons trail game number 2 here at the Gates Center, 19-18 after winning game number 1, 30-28. And there you're getting a look at the great crowd we have in the house tonight. I think fans coming out, well, it's always well attended here for IPFW Volleyball, but fans realizing this is a special evening honoring Matt Bashevsky in his final regular season home match. Of course, the MIVA tournament starts next week. Well, you see the Buckeyes have come up with 15 digs to the Dons 11. Stevens with the serve, and there you are coming out of that timeout, a service error.
And it's a momentum killer. You want to serve tough, and when you serve tough, you got to expect to miss a few serves. But when you come out of a timeout, that ball's got to go in, even if it means taking a little off it.
Well, Josh Collins will serve with the game tied 19 apiece. Boy, what a good flutter ball that was. Set goes to Andy Cole. Well, dug up by Randolph, but it headed for the concession stand, and the Dons couldn't chase it down. Big swing that time by Andy Cole. Surprised they didn't come out with a little popcorn with that ball. Buckeyes move back on top by 1, 20-19.
You always got to hustle for plays like that. You never know when you'll make that save and get a lucky point.
Brett Verson passed neatly. There's the short ball. Stewart is dug up by the Buckeyes. Now Greaves, a little change of pace, and hit that one wide.
And again, that was a tough set for Stewart to handle, but he tipped it, he controlled it nicely, put it in play, and he made the setter play the first ball, which means the setter can't set it. which means you're going to get a predictable set and try to do a little too much with a predictable set.
Tied at 20. Josh Stewart. Stevens to Matthews to Scott Spurlock, and Spurlock spanked that one. Big kill for the 6'10 senior. Now 21-20 in favor of Ohio State. Andy Cole.
That's only his 3rd kill of the match.
With the serve, Serdar Sicha. Cole flips it up in a self-defense type of play. Stevens with a big swing, and he finds some open court right in the corner, in that far back corner. 22-20 now Buckeyes.
Points in transition again. Digging a ball and then putting it away, so important.
Andy Cole with a big left-handed serve. Marisi the pass. Here comes Maddie. And Maddie with a crafty move that time. Instead of going for the swing, just kind of guided the ball off of the Greaves block.
It's a good, smart attack. I think he knew what he was going to do with it all along once he saw the block go up. That's only going to make his attack better, because they got to start guessing. Is he going to hit it off my block? Is he going to tip it? Is he going to hit hard?
Matt has to serve big, and boy, he does. Set comes to Greaves, and Greaves airmails that swing. So for as good as he is, Mark Greaves at time has been just a wee bit inconsistent. A couple of wild swings.
I think he's trying to do a little too much right now. He tried for a very low percentage hit there. When he had a single block, he could have taken it cross court and jammed it.
Oh, Bashevsky going for a little extra, serves it right into the belly of the net, so it's 23-22 Buckeyes. Well, I look at Greaves. He's got 9 kills, but he has 5 errors.
Right, which means that he's only hitting .235.
Randolph sets Serdar. Great diving save that time by Martin. The swing by Greaves, dug up by Josh Collins, and it lands actually right in our lap, right here at our broadcast site.
And to go back to hitting percentages for a second, you want to hit around 300. You can just relate it to baseball. 300 hitting percentage is very good.
Buckeyes on top by 2. Randolph has a ball to handle to Bashevsky. Maddie just wipes that right off the block, and when he's wiping it off of Scott Spurlock again, Steve, you know how high Bashevsky is getting.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Dons right back to within 1. Brock Ulrich, and boy, this is where the serve becomes oh so important. Pumped up by Martin. Set comes to Stevens, and Stevens just whiffs on that one. That ball again almost wound up in popcorn land, so a hitting error that time by Sam Stevens, and we are even at 24 apiece.
And again, Spurlock for Ohio State has gained the respect of Sicha. Sicha is staying with him, and that's the 2nd single block on the outside.
What a great serve by Brock Ulrich. It just barely carried the net, and it ate up Connor Martin for an ace. Pete Hansen has seen enough. He wants a timeout. IPFW on top 25-24 in game number 2. And Steve, as you pointed out in the first game, when you got 25-24, when you got that final 5 points or so to get, boy, this is where everything is critical.
Exactly. No room for error. And the most important contact of the match will be the serve receive. Well, what is Ohio State going to do out here? They need to put a pass in the setter's head so they can run an effective offense and get the side out. You want a side out right away.
Hey fans, it is oh so easy to get tickets to IPFW athletic events. All you have to do is call 260-481-6000, or you can go to the IPFW Athletics website at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. IPFW game tickets available for individual events. There's also mini-season ticket packages. Again, 260-481-6000, or online at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. And here is a look at that big Brock Ulrich serve that just ate Connor Martin up alive.
It's a hard serve to read. You can't ever tell where it's exactly going to go because he has a really unorthodox arm swing.
And here's Brock again out of the timeout. Good serve. Greaves with the pass. The set comes across to Stevens, and Stevens just smokes that one right off the arm of Brock Ulrich and then off the Mastodons logo.
And there's an example of taking advantage of the one-on-one situation, which they haven't been doing. They've been trying low percentage shots and trying to do too much with it. Swing cross court as hard as you can.
Dan Meskey checks in to serve. Pretty good one. Set comes to Bashevsky. Maddie with the big leap, but a good save that time by Cole. Set goes to Stevens. Stevens with a dink. Sicha with the block. They keep it alive out of the net. Free ball to the Dons. Randolph to Serdar. See ya! Oh my! that was just waved a little bit long. Just a little bit long. That'll be a point to the Buckeyes.
And if you're a young volleyball player watching this match, that shows why you never give up on a ball. Save it, save it, save it.
Well, the Dons trail by a point. Randolph has to chase it down to Maddie off the top of the block, and that'll be a kill for Bashevsky, a clutch kill. Well, on the previous point, Sitcha oh so close, but the line judge flipped the flag and said probably an inch or two too long. The Dons shook it off, and Bashevsky comes up with a big kill.
It's all about shaking it off in these last 5 points. Don't dwell on it.
26-26. Serdar to serve it. Good floater. Greaves. And the set goes that time to Brett Verson. He creams that off the IPFW block. Stewart was there, but just couldn't keep the hands in.
And now it's the Dons' turn. The pass here is so important. You have Brock Ulrich to receive, and they have been targeting him. Let's see where this serve goes.
Goes to Josh Collins. Back set goes to Bashevsky. And Matt with another big swing right in front of Daniel Matthews. Matt Bashevsky is just feeling it.
And good news for the Dons. That rotates Matt Bashevsky up into the front row where he's even more effective.
Now Mike Randolph to serve.
You have Greaves in the front row and Bashevsky.
Connor Martin with the pass. And the set goes back to Stevens. And Sam Stevens misses that swing, so the Dons move on top by a point.
And there's that swing. You want to just hold. If you can hold one serve like they did, you're going to get a little bit of an edge. In these last 5 points, you need to side out right away.
Now Mike Randolph. Clutch serve. Martin with the pass. The set comes right down the middle to Greaves. And Greaves finds some room just past the libero Morisi into that far corner.
And that kill rotates Greaves into the front row. So you have Matt Bashevsky and Greaves in the front row. And it's going to be a slugfest from here on out.
Stevens with the serve. Ulrich with a good pass. Randolph goes to Maddie. Maddie off the block. And another kill for Matt Bashevsky. Well, Bashevsky is just absolutely lighting it up. Kill number 16.
16 kills. And here comes the crowd. It's good to see them on their feet. You know, they've been clapping all match trying to keep the Dons in it. That's what they need.
A game point for the Dons at 29-28. The fans are on their feet. Josh Collins to serve it up. Ooh, it's a good serve. Matthews sets it for Greaves. Greaves is blocked. Oh, it's saved that time by Stevens. Now they go to Cole. And Cole dug up that time by Collins, but it goes to the Buckeye side. The set to Cole. And Cole just puts the hammer down big time. Oh, what a clutch kill that time by Andy Cole to tie it at 29 apiece.
Cole quietly doing a very nice job on that right side. Takes a big swing, and again, lefties are hard to block because you don't see them very often, especially if you don't have one on your team in practice.
Brett Verson with the serve. The set comes to Bashevsky. Maddie has to play a free ball. Oh, what a save by Stevens. This will have to be a free ball by the Buckeyes. Here come the Dons. Randolph to Bashevsky. Oh, blocked that time, but a great save by Collins. Now the set goes to Matt again. And he manages to wipe it off a Spurlock. Oh, what a play by Matt Bashevsky.
What an angle. I was watching that play develop. That ball was set about 10 feet inside the court. I was hoping he would cut it back. That was a great angle. That is a high-level attack right there.
Fans on their feet again. The Dons with a second game point. Here is Stewart with the serve. Connor Martin with the pass. They go to Greaves. Greaves hits it into the net, and the Dons win game number 2. What a victory for IPFW. Game number 2 goes to IPFW 31-29. Well, the Dons lead at 2-0. Now we go to the little intermission between games 2 and 3, and we have this special feature before we come back to see if the Dons can complete the sweep.
Hello, I'm Matt Bashevsky. I'm a senior on the IPFW men's volleyball team. I'm a fifth-year senior majoring in geology. Okay, I found out about IPFW from one of my friends. We played on the provincial team, which is kind of like an all-state team up in Canada, and one of my friends whose brother played volleyball at Penn State had a tape of the Final Four from '99 with IPFW playing, and that was my first exposure to this, to the name of the school at least. And we watched that match. It was a really good game, and that's how I remembered the school name. When my senior year came, and my mom actually told me to email some schools and see in the States, see what comes out of it. And IPFW was the first school that I remembered about emailing. So I emailed Coach Ball.
Matty's attraction is twofold. One, of course, is his size. He's about 6'4", 6'5", but his the second and most important thing was his ability to jump quickly off the floor. When we look for players, we look for quickness, and he is one of the gliders, as we call them, one of the people that jumps off the floor, leaves the floor very easily, glides through the air, and is able to do things. A lot of people have to struggle to do that. So when we first saw him play, that was very important. Of course, some additions to that is his knowledge of the game, because he comes from a strong background. He originally comes from the country of Poland, where volleyball is very, very popular, and his dad knows a lot about volleyball, so he had a lot of experience in that regard. So that's kind of an addition to the fact that he's very athletic.
He was pretty much kind of like a father figure, like a person that looked after me and helped me out through the years, and was a big help during my sophomore year when I tore my ACL, and was very supportive of me and stuff like that. So definitely in that aspect, he helped me out a lot mentally, I guess, with the mental part of the game, not to mention the physical part of the game, which, he's a great coach and has taught me a ton over the years.
In describing Matty off the court, I would say that he has grown dramatically, I think, since he came to IPFW. When he first came here, I think that we alluded to the fact that he was kind of the Pillsbury doughboy, a real soft-spoken mama's boy. And this is something he and I have talked about all the time, so it's no big deal. Well, maybe a big deal, but I'm going to say it anyhow. And I think he's grown dramatically in that regard. Matty has done an unbelievable job of going through some very difficult times of having 2 ACL repairs. The first one was very traumatic, and the second one probably was even more traumatic when he did it against Santa Barbara, when I think that probably I played him maybe too early and too long. But his work ethic, excuse me, and his determination to come back from those are unprecedented.
Well, the ultimate plan, I guess, is to play volleyball for as long as I can. Yeah, I guess play volleyball. That's what I like the most. Everybody always dreams of having a profession that they like. So, and mine would definitely be playing volleyball. I mean, I grew up playing volleyball. I played volleyball here for 5 years. That's what I know best. So, and it's fun at the same time. So definitely my ultimate goal would be to play professionally for as long as I can, and then hopefully use my geology degree to work as a geologist. Well, my teammates were definitely important to me. Well, I guess they're important to everybody on the team, but just somebody to talk to, especially right when you get to school is, I think, when you form your best friendships at university, because the first person you live with or whatnot, the first guys you meet on the team, and the guys you grow with through the years.
I guess I would tell Matty to continue to work hard and learn. All the players who leave here end up being better players the next year and the year after and the year after, which frustrates us coaches, but we understand the process. And that happens because of the maturation process of experience. It happens the maturation process of just physically getting stronger and more mature. So we would hope that he would continue to grow and develop not only as a player, but as a person.
Being part of volleyball and having 6 guys on the court at once and 12, 15 guys on the team, you kind of bond together and learn to work as a team, which is definitely one thing that I got out of volleyball.
Matty's parents are wonderful, as almost all the parents we deal with are. Matty's parents have been involved. They make a drive down here from Toronto, Canada. It's typically about a 7-hour drive. I think Matty's dad makes it in about 5 because he drives way too fast. But he and his mom, Matty's mom and dad, have been very, very supportive not only of Matty, but of our program, and they've become very close friends to my wife and I and the rest of our coaching staff. It's always a pleasure to have friendships develop, and been the same way for the past 25 years as it has with Maddie's mom and dad to develop through the relationships of working with their sons or daughters. We want to personally thank Maddie for all his efforts that he's put in as he's developed as a player, to an All-American player, to an All-Conference player, to an outstanding player here at IPFW, and following the tradition that we have, and certainly being the role model, and I say that in all honesty and love in regards to Maddie. He certainly has been a role model of the student athlete, as he's been an outstanding student in the classroom and an outstanding player, student athlete on the volleyball court, and we wish him the very best, and thank you, Maddie.
Well, I guess there's a ton of people that I'd like to thank that I met over the years. You know, obviously the coaching staff, Coach Ball, Coach Johnson, Coach Franke, Rock, and before that my freshman year, Schmidlin and Ryan Staley. You know, they've all helped out quite a bit with me, both, like I said, both physically and mentally. They've been like a family. Oh, I definitely want to thank my family. My parents have been very supportive of me over the years. You know, I live quite a ways away, but they always somehow find time to come here for all my games. And you know, when I tore my ACL, they were there supporting me, and they never gave up. And you know, I love them for that. Oh, I love you, Mom.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW, along with Steve Florio, Kent Horman here on 56 Sports, and quite a fitting tribute to Matt Bashevsky, Steve. I mean, again, what he's done for this program and for volleyball here in his 5 years, I mean, he's earned all the accolades that have been tossed his way.
He will be missed, and tonight he's showing us exactly why.
Well, and you take a look at the good news so far, a couple of thrillers. The Dons on top 2-0 over Ohio State, winning game 1 30-28, winning game 2 31-29, and we're just about set for game number 3. Take a look at some of the match stats through the first 2 games.
Well, you see Ohio State is actually outdoing IPFW in every category except for one, and that's attack percentage. They are hitting 263 versus IPFW's 307, and that's the margin right there. Very small margin, but the games have been very close, and that's the margin.
Game number 3 underway, and Bashevsky is dug by Sam Stevens. Cole is blocked by Serdar Sitja. So that is a good start for IPFW if they're looking for a sweep, to see Sitja continue his dominance at the block. Good start for the Dons. Now going from right to left on your TV screen. Matt Bashevsky with a big serve. Back set goes to Cole, and Cole is blocked by Brock Ulrich with help from Serdar Sitcha. 2-0 IPFW.
That's a good way to start the match with blocks. Big blocks, too. And this is why they start Serdar Sitcha in the front row. Maximize the amount of times he can block.
Bashevsky, another big serve. Oh, Stevens stepped in front of his libero, Martin. And there is just a mess for Ohio State, and the Dons, just like that, jump out to a 3-0 lead.
And that's what tough serving can do. It wreaks havoc. It sometimes takes a team out of system, sometimes makes them run crazy.
Now Maddie with a little change of pace, and Martin barely gets his hands on the ball, and kind of an errant sense again. And there is another big block by the Dons. Serdar Sitcha along with Mike Randolph, and you can see the look on Pete Hansen's face. He's like, are we going to have to warm the bus up?
There's nothing you can do if your team's not passing well, and right now Maddie is serving very tough.
Bashevsky with another good serve. Stevens with a better pass. Back set goes to Cole. Cole is blocked by Ulrich. Ball is just flipped over to the Don side. Randolph tees off on it. Saved by the Buckeyes. Now it comes to Greaves. And Greaves with a big swing. Ball winds up caroming off the body of Josh Collins, so the Buckeyes are on the board.
It's a good start by IPFW. A couple big blocks. You know, it could get in ahead of hitters. That's why they try and do too much with it sometimes.
Andy Cole with a big serve, bumped by Collins. Set goes to Maddie. It's a good set. Bashevsky is blocked. A save by Ulrich, but I think he'll have that one flare out of bounds, and he does. Brock had to dive after that ball, so now Ohio State making some noise as they trail 4-2.
You know, Ohio State has done a great job of just shaking mistakes off and jumping right back into this match, and that's why another reason it's been so close.
Cole with the left-handed serve. Short ball to Serdar. Great little dink that time. I think we had a Buckeye in the net.
Hooked him. Got him to bite.
So IPFW now on top 5-2. Brock Ulrich, who's had a fine match so far, as Arnie Ball looms right in front of our broadcast site. Set comes across. Big swing that time by Greaves. And as you can probably hear from that sound effect, Arnie wasn't very happy with the block on that sequence.
No, he wasn't. Again, it looks like their footwork got just a little tripped up, but all it takes is a step, a half a second for a good hitter like Greaves to get it past.
Greaves with the serve. Morisi with the pass. Set goes to Bashevsky. He creams that off the block. Greaves has to run around one of our videographers. Play on they do, and that time a good swing by Sam Stevens.
Again, young players watching, that's why you chase balls down. That's why you get to the ground and try and keep it off the ground. That's why you hustle until the play's dead.
Greaves with a big serve, almost eats up Morisi, but they keep it alive. And Bashevsky tries to get it over, but that time he's met by the big man in the middle, and that is Scott Spurlock. And Arnie Ball's called a timeout with all of a sudden a 4-1 lead evaporating into 5-5. So we're even in game number 3, 5-5, with the Dons leading 2-0. This is Dons Volleyball on 56 Sports.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Hey, there you go. If you're hungry, get yourself a big old fat happy Butterfinger. Concession stand is open for business. Softball team doing the honors tonight. There you see the big play by Matt Bashevsky, and one of our videographers getting up close and personal because he had to do a little sidestep as the Buckeyes kept the ball alive, and then came up with the big swing by Sam Stevens to tie things up at 5.
And it seems like every time Ohio State has hustled to keep a ball alive, they've got good results.
It's great work by our photographer right away not to give up. Well, there's Serdar Sitcha, who never gives up. And just an absolutely great ball by Randolph, a little shorty down the middle, and Serdar again with the big swing. And Sitcha, as you pointed out earlier, Steve, has just had a terrific match.
He's hitting 571. Just put that in baseball terms. Imagine a batter hitting 571.
It's instant Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Well, the bump set goes to Andy Cole. Serdar had the great dig, but I think we had a Don in the net that time, and I believe it was Josh Collins. Well, it's 6-6. I don't think Arnie was enamored with that call, but we're even in game number 3. Dons having won the first two, 30-28, 31-29, and Spurlock to serve. Passed up by Ulrich. Set goes to Josh Stewart, and Stewart just smokes it right off the shoulder of Dan Matthews. Big kill for Stewart. Dons go ahead 7-6, and memory serves, I don't think Ohio State has had more than a 2-point lead at any point in any game in this match tonight.
No. I said Ohio State was doing a good job of shaking off errors and mistakes, but so is IPFW, and in a great match like this, you have to.
Randolph serves it through the tape. The set goes to Stevens. Through the block, and a big save that time by Randolph. Collins just flips it over. Buckeyes with an opportunity. Set goes to Cole, and Cole looks like he swung wide. He did. Hitting mistake that time by Andy Cole. A point for the Dons.
And then that's the difference in the match is just a few more unforced errors by Ohio State than IPFW. It's a slim margin, but the wins have been by slim margins. 2 points. That's 1 or 2 hitting errors right there. That's all it takes.
Big serve by Randolph, passed up neatly by Greaves. Set goes to Cole. Cole off the top of the block. Marisi, bit of an overpass, and there is Sam Stevens. See you later.
When you're a defensive player and you're running a ball like that down, you never want to bring it back to the net. You always want to bring it somewhere towards the middle of your court, let a back row player take an attack on it. It's just too dangerous to bring it up to the net.
Buckeyes draw it with an 8-7. Marisi with the pass, short ball to Stewart, and Josh comes through with the kill. And wipe that off of Daniel Matthews, who was trying to get down for the save, but couldn't get it done.
And as this match gets down to the nitty-gritty in the end, all these middle hitter kills that the Dons have been getting are going to pay off when they open up their outside hitters.
Set goes to Sam Stevens, and it looks like, again, an errant swing. So Buckeyes making some mistakes, and the Dons capitalizing. They move on top by 3 now at 10-7.
And the Dons right now just a little more efficient with their attacking than Ohio State.
Josh Collins to serve. Good little floater bumped up by Greaves. Set comes across to Cole. What a block by Josh Stewart and Matt Bashevsky. Tremendous block by the Dons, and now they're up by 4. Well, the Buckeye sideline is just basically stone cold silent. They're not believing. This is the number 11 team in the country, folks.
Ohio State has not been running their middles a lot.
Oh, Josh Collins thought he had a service ace, but at the last second, the Buckeyes decided we won't play the ball. And the last little knuckle, it knuckle up rather than down, and it drifted long. Stevens with the serve, bumped up by Marisi. And Josh Stewart takes the short set, manages to get the albatross-like wings out and put it down for the kill. Serdar Sicha checks back into the lineup with Mike Marisi rotating out. It'll be Josh Stewart.
You have Greaves now in the front row for Ohio State. I bet you they're going to try and get a groove going with him.
Stewart with a pretty good serve, and you're right, they go right to Greaves, blocked by the Dons. They're going to go to Greaves again, blocked by the Dons. Randolph. Serdar with a bump set. Right down the middle goes Collins. And I believe he hit it into the top of the net for 4 hits. Yes, he did. And Arnie Ball is not happy with that because, again, you have an opportunity to collect the point. The other team is kept alive.
You just don't want to end the rally. You want to make the other team have to end it.
Through the tape, Sicha plays it. The set goes to Bashevsky. Matty has a ball to handle, but looked like he hit the thing just a little long. He did. Well, a rare mistake for Bashevsky. Looked like he had a good ball and some open floor.
Yeah, and, again, talking about hitters trying to do too much, sometimes you got to hit the shot that's there for you to hit.
Ooh, that time the serve by Brett Verson just barely carried beyond the baseline. Plenty of top spin on that, but that's a break for the Dons. That stems the Ohio State rally. Now the Dons back up by 3 at 13-10. See if they can get a roll going with Bashevsky serving. Oh, what a big serve by Matt. Dug out of the net. It's up to be a free ball by Ohio State. Randolph back sets to Matty. A little dink. Oh, Spurlock flips it right back. Now they go to Ulrich. Ulrich off the top of the block. Connor Martin with the pass. Set goes to Greaves, and Greaves overswings. Or was it Stevens? I think that was Sam Stevens, actually, that got the set. And Sam Stevens has been quite erratic here in this third game.
IPFW just outlasting in those rallies. Good, gritty defense.
That expression by Pete Hansen, the coach of the Buckeyes, about tells it all. Big serve by Bishevsky. Set comes to Greaves. Greaves is blocked by the Dons. Oh, what a play by Sitcha. Serdar Sitcha is taking over this match. We have the officials timeout at 15, but the Dons leading by 5 at 15-10. Back with more from the Gate Center on Sports 56. Smiling faces here at the Gate Center tonight because the IPFW Volleyball are taking it to the Ohio State University, the number 11 team in the country. IPFW won game 1 30-28, won game 2 in a thriller 31-29, and now lead game number 3 15-10. And the Dons are just blocking machines courtesy of one Serdar Sitcha.
Yeah, I'd like to give an assist to the tough serving of IPFW, especially Matt Spashevsky. It's just forcing the setter for Ohio State to have to set a predictable set. And 10th in the nation in blocking is Serdar Sitcha. That's a bad combination, predictability and a good blocker.
Matt Spashevsky with a good serve coming out of the timeout. The set goes to Spurlock. Dons block it. Now the set goes to Cole. And it looked like Cole hit it into the net. Yes, he did. Andy Cole. That's 4 hits on the Buckeyes, so the Dons continue their roll, leading now 16-10.
Yeah, and what now you have happening is it's a little too late. Now they're trying to go to their middle. They should have been trying to set their middles earlier in the match. Ohio State trying to run their middle out of a timeout. Maybe it's a little too late.
Bishevsky, another cannonball serve. Set goes to Greaves, and that time Greaves really puts the hammer down on that one. Well, you pointed this out earlier, Steve, for as big as Scott Spurlock is, 6'10", he hasn't seen many balls tonight.
No, he hasn't, partially because the Dons serving has been so tough. It's hard to set your middles when you're not by the net.
Set goes to Ulrich, and he has an open floor. Oh, Brock Ulrich, that was like the Red Sea, and Brock made no mistake.
And again, I'm so happy they illustrated my point. When you have a middle hitter on fire like Serdar, who's been automatic hitting .571, you have to respect that. You have to jump with him and try to block him. And when that happens, you open up a good hole. And in that case, there was no block up with Brock Ulrich. And again, that's a layup. That's a gimme.
Don's trying to take command at 17-11. I love that term, layup. Brock Ulrich is another big serve. Oh, that's an overpass. Serdar Sitcha, and that'll be a kill for the Dons. Yes, the ball carries wide and beyond the antenna, and the Dons are really putting it to Ohio State now with an 18-11 lead. IPFW is smelling sweep.
I'm sure Ohio State wants to run their middle hitters right now, but the Dons serving is just way too tough right now.
Brock Ulrich, what a year he's had as a freshman. Another missile results in a tough pass. Oh, the Dons managed to save it. What a play by Randolph. Arnie Ball was screaming for a violation, didn't get it. What a block by Sitcha. What a save that time by Matthews. They play on. And that time, the new Buckeye in the lineup, Stu Katz, manages to get it off the IPFW block. And now in this sequence, Bishevsky wants
double
the
contact.
official, Ron Rodriguez, to explain why there was no call. Now Arnie Ball is down here with the side official. They were very displeased there was a lack of a call during that point.
What they were looking for was they felt the setter double contacted the ball on his one of his initial sets. But again, it's about bouncing back now. See if they can get the point here.
Set goes to Bishevsky. Well, Matty is dug up that time by Connor Martin. They come to Greaves, and Greaves just blisters that one through the IPFW block. So now the Buckeyes trying to turn things around. 18-11 has become 18-13.
Ohio State needs to capitalize on the Dons' emotions right now and try and pour the pressure on.
Need a good set here, and it doesn't happen. That time they're out of sequence. Arnie Ball is not happy. He calls timeout with his team now leading 18-14. So a little bit of a flow now for the Buckeyes. Looked like IPFW in complete control, Steve, at a late 18-11, and now all of a sudden 18-14.
But that's what a play like that'll do. If you start arguing, if you start getting emotional about the calls, it could take you mentally out of the game. And Ohio State needs to pour the pressure on and take advantage of that.
Well, obviously, this exciting volleyball match here, there's all sorts of excitement as far as IPFW athletics. You can learn more about Mastodon sports by tuning in to the Mastodon Spotlight each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday in College 56. Host Mike Moss reviews recent IPFW sports activities, looks at game footage, visits with coaches and players as well. That's Mastodon Spotlight. Tuesdays at 7 and 10:30 p.m., Thursdays at 6:30, and Saturdays at noon, Mastodon Spotlight right here on College 56. Well, there is a rather boisterous fan. We're going to have to talk to her. That's Arnie Ball's wife. Well, there's
Never seen the overpass kill.
The last sequence where the Dons were taking control to make it 18-11. Since then, the Buckeyes have reeled off 3 consecutive points. So coming out of this timeout, big point for IPFW.
This is a very huge point. It's a good time to take a timeout. Let's see if they can control themselves here.
Set goes to Maddie. And Maddie wipes it off of Spurlock and also Stevens. So Bashevsky comes up with a big kill out of the timeout.
That's what they needed. They just needed to get a timeout, collect themselves, and get back on track.
And now Serdar Sicha, who has done a great job of serving. Serves a pretty good floater. That kind of handcuffs Greaves. Big swing by Stevens, and it comes off the body of Brock Ulrich. So Sam Stevens picks up the kill. Buckeyes will do a little rotating as Spurlock will come out, and Dan Meske, a libero, a 6'1" sophomore out of Willow Springs, Illinois. He'll check in to serve it up for Ohio State. Off the tape, Marisi. And there you have Randolph with that little surprise party. But was it just a wee bit wider, or do we have it down in the net?
I believe they're calling him in the net.
And Mike Randolph cannot believe the call. So a couple of calls here in the last 4 or 5 points have gone against the Dons.
And again, he needs to just collect himself and make this next set.
Randolph to Bashevsky. And Maddie misses everything that time. So the Buckeyes are starting to rally. Now it's 19-17. Ohio State has taken 6 of the last 7 points.
The pass here is crucial.
Pretty good serve there, but a good pass by Collins. It comes to Josh. Josh off the block, saved by Ulrich. Set goes to Bashevsky. Bashevsky, little change of pace. Blocked that time by Brett Verson, and the Buckeyes now within 1 at 19-18. Brett Verson has made his presence felt since he's entered the match, and he's done a pretty good job in that middle for the Buckeyes. There's the pass by the libero, Marisi. Comes to Bashevsky. And Maddie has it blocked right back into his body, that time by Stevens and also by Verson. And all of a sudden, an 18-11 IPFW lead has evaporated. It's now 19 apiece. And now Jason Hemphill checks into the IPFW lineup, and Josh Collins will take a seat. All right, he's having a little running dialogue with Mike Aliedro, the down official. Pretty good serve by the Buckeyes again. Randolph, short ball to Stewart, dug up neatly that time by Katz. Big swing that time by Ohio State, and Greaves finishes the deal. Wow, 20-19 OSU.
Well, volleyball has a lot, the momentum has a lot to do with volleyball, and right now Ohio State has it.
Big serve for an ace that time by Dan Meske. Well, just when we talked about IPFW seeming to take control of the game in the match at 18-11, you look up at the board and it's 21-19 OSU. As they say, Dons need a stop. Ohio State has just served the gills off the ball. There's Matt Bashevsky coming through to stop the bleeding of sorts.
That kill means a lot. It was a hard kill. It was a really good point. And that's a type of play that can swing momentum back. A real good point like that.
Well, Dons have to believe they can now reel off 4 or 5 in a row, or say 6 out of 7. Here's Randolph to serve. And it's long. Well, they're not going to do it that way. Tough service there that time by Randolph, and now 22-20 Buckeyes.
Still plenty of match left and only a 2-point lead. Ohio State does have that lead, though, and some tough serving could keep it for them.
Daniel Matthews with a good serve. Good pass by Ulrich. Short ball to Stewart. They block it. Stewart will have to set it. Goes to Collins, and Collins misses everything.
It's going to be a break, though, for the Dons. They call a net violation on Ohio State. That's a good break.
Well, that's a big break.
Yeah.
That ball was well wide, and now Arnie Ball, a little consternation in his face. Good serve that time by Collins. Connor Martin. And the pass goes to Brett Verson, who takes that short set and smokes that into the far court.
Well, Ohio State's passing has gotten better, and when the passing's good, it's tough to defend. Good hitting team.
Sam Stevens with a big serve. Oh, Marisi has to make the pancake save. Now the Dons have to play a free ball. Ohio State can set up shop. Back set goes for the big swing by Stu Katz. And now the Buckeye sideline is just alive and jumping. What a big swing that time by Stu Katz.
You know, and there we talk about passing. A real bad pass by IPFW, forcing a free ball, and again, a pretty easy situation for Ohio State.
Set goes to Bashevsky. Matty tries the dig, and he manages to get away with it as it crawls down the net. And it's through the timing of Versanoff, so Bashevsky gets the kill. Hey, don't go away. The Dons still have a chance here, now down 24-22.
You know, it's a good shot by Matty there, tipping it. It's a little changeup. You know, it's going to keep the defense guessing when it comes down to crunch time as we get towards the end of the match here. Mixing it up is always a good thing.
Now here's Josh Stewart to serve it up. Serving very critical now. Matthews runs it down to Greaves, and Greaves that time drills it past the IPFW block. Now 25-22, the libero Connor Martin rotates out, as does Meske, so Spurlock returns.
Great hit there. He's facing cross court, and he hits down the line. Very tricky.
Serve clips the tape, bumped up by Marisi. The set goes to Matt Bashevsky, and Matt has plenty of room to put that one down, and Bashevsky again with a kill. That's number 21 for Matt.
Well, 25-23, this is the server you want going back for the Dons. They've got a few points every time he's gone back to serve. They need a hold for 1 or 2 here to bring it to even.
Matty with a big serve, bumped up by Greaves. Set goes to Greaves, and Greaves.
And there's one right there.
Yeah, Greaves, what do you do? Get the net, then the ball, I think, carried out?
He hit the antenna, and again, the antenna is out of bounds. The ball's not allowed to hit the antenna and must pass within the antenna.
So a lot of movement in the net. Big serve by Bashevsky, diving save by Martin. Set goes to Stuart Katz, who tries to hit it into the locker room. You heard the big ooh and ah from the crowd, because that was a big souvenir. Now we have a timeout on the floor, Ohio State at 25-25. And boy, what a momentum this has been in this game here, where IPFW up 18-11. Then they fell down by 3 points. Now we're even at 25, and Steve, we're right back to one of those 25-25 anybody's game.
And here we go again, and again it's going to come down to who can side out more quickly and who can be more efficient on the attack. And you got to wonder right now, can Ohio State be efficient? They have just hit 2 hitting errors, and they have to come out of this timeout hitting a little smarter and not trying to force it so much.
Well, here comes a big play by Matt Bashevsky. See Matt just loading this one up, and he hits that right between the block. That's a huge kill for Matt, number 21 of the match.
He's taken this match into his hands. He got that big kill to stop the bleeding, had the tip killed to get the defense on their heels, and now he's swinging hard again. And he's really showing why he's an All-American and why everyone's so sad to see him go after this year.
Well, here we go. Matt Bashevsky to serve at 25 apiece. It's a good one. Almost an overpass, and that's going to be 4 hits. It basically was an overpass, and that results in a point for the Dons off that big Bashevsky serve.
That's right, and what a key serve out of a timeout like that. you got to expect the ball to go to Greaves here. Even if it's a good pass, got to put it in the hands of your stud.
Bashevsky, the high toss, the big serve, bumped up neatly by Stevens. The set does go to Greaves, and he wipes that off the Dons block. So you called it, Steve. 26 apiece.
Again, at this point in the game, it's a no-brainer. It's sort of like the last 2 minutes of a basketball game. You want to give it to your best player and make him take the winning shots.
Katz to serve, bumped up by Collins. The set goes back to Bashevsky, and Matt puts it down. Kill number 22 for Bashevsky, and all Stuart Katz can do is stare at the floor. Well, now for the Dons, Mike Randolph checks out, and Mike Dyga checks in. So Dyga will have to take over the role of center. Ulrich with the serve.
Something he's done for the Dons. It's a blocking substitution.
Greaves is blocked, but it's wiped off the block of Dyga. And Sicha, I think they brought Mike in to block.
Almost worked. He got a piece of that. You got to know the ball was going out there. He got a piece of it. That was the point of the substitution. Just missed. Good idea.
Greaves to serve. And it eats up Marisi, so Greaves comes up with a clutch serve for an ace.
And that's something that the Dons haven't done. And that's they haven't made an error in his last 5 points. They've passed well, they've attacked well. That's one of the first errors they've made.
Greaves clips the tape with the serve. Randolph to Bashevsky. Matty off the top of the block, and they chase it down. Martin does. Free ball has to be played, and it won't make it by Greaves. That'll be 4 hits on the Buckeyes. 28-28.
Now they need to hold serve here, the Dons do. You got 2 hitters up, Spurlock, the big middle, but they haven't been setting them too much. You almost expected to see an outside set here.
Sicha with a good serve, bumped up by Connor Martin. Back set goes to Katz. He tries to dig it. It's roofed down. It's roofed down by Stewart. Oh, what a play by Josh Stewart, and the Dons have a match point. The fans are on their feet at the Gate Center. 29-28. Serdar Sicha will be serving for the match.
And, you know, I expect this ball to go to Greaves again or be thrown to the outside.
Sicha with a good floater. The set goes to Stevens off the block, and oh, and Bashevsky can't quite react. And we're even at 29. Well, Sam Stevens, what an impact he's made since he checked into the match. I think that'll put him in double digits for kills at 10.
2 freshman passers back at 29-29 for the Dons. Talk about pressure.
Ulrich with the pass. The set goes to Matty. Bashevsky off the top of the block. Bumped up, though, by Spurlock. And now there's a battle at the net, and basically the center, Daniel Matthews, just stuffs it down the Don side of the net, so now Ohio State has a game point.
Again, 2 freshman passers back there. They need to make it a good one. No pressure, huh?
Ooh,
tough one.
Randolph has to run it down. Matty's going to have to play a free ball.
They need a big block here.
And that's how Daniel Matthews just roofs it down again. And that will conclude game number 2. The Dons had, or game number 3, I should say, the Dons had a match point. Ohio State came up with a big play to even it, then 2 big plays. And really now the crowd kind of in stunned silence because they were ready to celebrate a victory, but will play on because the Buckeyes keep it alive by winning 31-29 in game 3. That trims the Dons' lead in the match to 2-1. So we'll be back with what should be another dandy. Game 4 is coming up next. You're watching Dons Volleyball on Sports 56.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there.
Pizza!
Pizza! Must eat.
Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
IPFW has been celebrating its 40th birthday all year. Coming up on this month's edition of IPFW Up Close, we'll sneak a peek at the university's birthday present to the community, Mastodons on Parade. And we'll find out about a very important tool for students, faculty, and staff, the Writing Center. Join me, Susan Alderman, for IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW, along with Steve Florio, Kent Horman here on 56 Sports, and that really tells the story as to what kind of a match this has been between the Dons and Ohio State. IPFW winning Game 1 30-28, winning Game 2 31-29, having a match point in Game 3, but Ohio State rallying to tie and then win Game 3 31-29. So we will play on. We will play a fourth game. And again, this one to 30, win by at least 2. Should Ohio State win this game, we'll go to a fifth and deciding game. And that would be to 15, win by 2. Well, there you see the Dons, who did such a great job. That was the Josh Stewart block at the net where he kind of roofed that dink attempt down, and that gave the Dons the match point. But then here comes Ohio State. IPFW had to play some free balls, and Daniel Matthews, with that crafty little flip job he does out of the setting position, that was the game point that gave Ohio State Game 3 31-29.
That was 2 kills in a row by the setter. After the first one, you gotta lock him down, and you gotta say he's not getting another one.
Mike Randolph will serve it up for IPFW. Dons have a chance. Matt Bashevsky, does he get it off the block? No. That's a little bit wide with that swing, and 1-0 Ohio State.
When the Dons can, I think they might have to start trying to go back to their middles. They've been so effective.
Well, they go to Josh Stewart. The ball plays up off the speakers, but they have to play on. That's free territory. Dons have a chance. Saved by Marisi. Set goes to Bashevsky, and Matt gets it down. Good swing that time by Bashevsky, and he more or less ate up Stuart Katz. So now it's 1-1 in game number 4.
All it takes is one step to open up a hole for an outside hitter. So as long as Josh Stewart and Sardar Sitcha keep driving hard and getting their kills, our outside hitters will be effective.
Josh Collins with the serve that was bumped up by Stevens, and that time Katz wipes it off the IPFW block for a kill. 2-1 Ohio State. Greaves, the player of the week, both nationally and in the conference, with a big serve. Bashevsky hits it off the top of the block, saved by Connor Martin. Now the set goes to Sam Stevens. He plays a dink. Dons have a chance. Set goes to Stewart. And I think we had a Buckeye in the net that time.
Something Ohio State is doing so well is playing defense. In the first 3 games, they've outdug IPFW 35-17. That is tremendous. And they've gotten a lot of points from a lot of scrappy plays.
2-2 in game 4. Martin flips up the Josh Stewart serve. Do the Dons have a chance to save this? Good save by Josh Stewart. Sitcha to Ulrich into the backcourt. Greaves saves that. They sent it to Greaves. I think Greaves missed everything that time. And that'll be a hitting error for Mark Greaves. So the Dons take the point and the 3-2 lead.
And speaking of scrappy plays, there's one right there. Run it down, make a good set for a back row hitter, and put a tough one in, and play some defense.
Now Josh Stewart continuing to serve for IPFW. Ooh, good little floater. Greaves pops it up. They set the middle, and Spurlock that time drills it off the Dons block. So Scott Spurlock, who's had a rather quiet night, gets a ball there and puts it away.
Well, again, Ohio State's passing really hasn't been there for them to run the middle. I mean, I'd want to run a 6-10 middle as much as I possibly can. So as long as their passing stays strong like it is now, I bet you we see more out of their middle hitters.
Ulrich bumps up the serve, and Brock takes the set. Now Spurlock saves it. Set comes to Sam Stevens. Stevens wipes that right off the Bashevsky block. That'll be a kill for Sam Stevens, and the Buckeyes move on top 4-3.
Stevens is doing a great job of getting pieces of the block. It's very hard to defend. Again, that ball changed direction so quickly.
Spurlock with the serve. Set comes to Matt. Matt just tries to play a free ball, but Stevens is there. Boy, that was pretty good timing by Sam Stevens. I thought he was risking getting over the net, but when Matty tried to flip a little soft shot over, Stevens was there just to roof it right down.
You're allowed to break the plan of the net to block as long as you don't touch the set before the hitter does.
Now they set it to Matt. Matt off the block, dug up neatly by Greaves. Greaves with a dink. Marisi comes up to play it. Randolph back sets to Bashevsky. Matt is dug up that time by Matthews. Here come the Buckeyes, battle at the net, and Bashevsky roofs it down.
And actually, that's something I explained in Game 3. If you're playing that ball from the back row, you don't want to throw it at the net. You want to keep it off the net so you allow somebody from the back row or your outside hitter to take a swing on it. It's a really unsafe play, and that's exactly why.
Don's trailing 5-4. Big serve by Bashevsky. Well, the set goes to Stu Katz, and man, did he ever put the smoke on that one. So Katz, who actually came into the lineup in game number 3 and had a couple of big swings, gets one there. 6-4 Buckeyes in game 4. IPFW leading 2-1. This has been a terrific match. Bumped up by Ulrich. Set goes to Serdar Sicha. And Serdar's, his swing, I think, clipped the top of the net, and then that directed the ball wide. So a rare hitting error by Sicha at 7-4 Buckeyes.
Even if he makes a hitting error, the fact that he was up and swinging lets the blocker know he's still there and he's got to stay with him.
Well, they go right back to Serdar, and that time Serdar puts it down. Well, you called this, I think, in the last game too, Steve. It looks like Ohio State is trying to wear Brock Ulrich out with the serves. So almost every serve is going to Ulrich.
Yeah, and you know, that's what volleyball teams will do. They find a target, they find someone that's not passing consistently, and you just try and keep serving at them and hope to play the percentages.
Brock Ulrich to serve it up for IPFW. His team trailing game 4 by 2. Bumped up by Stevens. The set comes across to Katz. And Katz with a tough angle shot.
That was really an amazing angle. That set was way out, and he cut it way back in and still kept it in the court. It's really an excellent hit.
Now 8-5 Ohio State. Big serve that time by Stevens. Set comes to Bashevsky. And that time is blocked by Greaves, and also some help from Verson. Matt kind of in frustration tugs at the net. Arnie Ball has seen enough. He wants a timeout with his team trailing 9-5 in game number 4. And we'll be back with more action from the Gate Center. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on Sports 56.
Thing you need, paper, pencils.
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Well, welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IPFW, along with Steve Florio, Kent Horman here on Sports 56. You know, I just noticed something during the break. I talk about when I said the teams were going either from left to right or right to left. I was probably saying the opposite because our cameras are opposite from where we're sitting. So, folks at home, I wasn't trying to confuse you. I guess when I was saying left to right or right to left, it was from the way I'm looking at the match, but it'd be just the opposite with the way the cameras are.
If they're IPFW fans, they know to root for the team in blue.
They know the royal blue and the white trim. The set goes to Bashevsky out of the timeout, and the block at the net again by Greaves and Verson. And now Ohio State on top 10-5. Sam Stevens will serve it up for Ohio State. And he serves it into the net. Well, we've had quite a stretch where we've gone without service errors, which I think is really meant for good quality of play. And I think the Dons will take that at this point. They need to get a string going.
Yeah, they need to start stringing a few serves together. Again, one thing that's gotten them here is good tough serving, so they can't go wimpy on us.
Oh, a little short set down the middle goes to Brett Verson. And Verson, the 6'6 sophomore from Centerville, Ohio, collects the kill. 11-6 Ohio State. Buckeyes trying to battle back into this match. Good pass that time by Marisi. The set goes to Josh Stewart. Stewart that time was blocked by the big drink of water, Spurlock. Now Ohio State is taking control of game number 4, 12-6. Their big serve. Randolph has to set it right near the net. Collins has to just flip it over. Now the set goes to Greaves. And Greaves wipes that off of Randolph and Josh Stewart. So here come the Buckeyes, now leading 13-6.
Well, the sets on IPFW's side of the net have gotten really close to the net. And when you got 6'10" over there, it just has to reach over and block it. It makes it very easy.
Well, the Buckeyes stop their own momentum as Brett Verson serves it into the net. I think you were pointing that out too, Steve, where the Dons haven't quite passed as crisply, so they're not setting as crisply, and that's taking them out of their offense and resulting in some problems. Oh, a big serve that time by Randolph. Katz over to Greaves. Fans were screaming for a double hit. Now the Dons have to play a free ball over, and the Buckeyes will set up shop. Matthews. Oh, what a block that time as he set it for Spurlock.
Good job of Josh Stewart, still in a furious rally like that, finding his hitter and staying with him, not losing him, being able to stay in front of him and in front of him. That's a really good job in a long rally like that.
Stewart getting some help from Bashevsky. Mike Randolph trying to put a little extra starch on that serve, serves it into the net. Ball goes back to the Buckeyes, leading game 4, 14-8. They're still serving to Brock Ulrich. Now Bashevsky doesn't have the greatest ball to handle, but gets it over. But here come the Buckeyes. They set for Greaves, and what a great dig that time by Marisi. Randolph to Bashevsky off the block. Oh, what a good save that time by Katz. They go to Greaves again. Greaves that time rips it through the IPFW block, and Greaves has his 22nd kill.
A great set by Ohio State to throw it way across the other side of the net and make Josh Stewart chase.
Well, we're at the timeout at 15 points now. It's 15-8 Ohio State in game 4. You're watching Dons Volleyball on Sports 56.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales, you're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Arnie Ball trying to settle his troops down here. IPFW winning game number 1, 30-28. Winning game number 2, 31-29. Had a match point, but the Buckeyes came back to take game 3, 31-29. You just saw the big swing by the talented Mark Greaves, the 6'4" junior outside hitter from Fenton, Missouri. There you see some of the Lady Volley Dons.
That's right. Who played earlier today in hosting their own spring tournament and went undefeated.
Oh, that's great. The Buckeyes now in control here, 15-8. Dons trying to get their way back into it, and there's the way to do it. Set for Matt Bashevsky.
Good job out of a timeout. You want to get that point right away.
Boy, Matty now has 26 kills in the match. Now Jared Quillen comes in to serve for the Dons, and Josh Collins will come out. Dons are trailing now 15-9 in game number 4.
We got Mike Dyga blocking middle here.
Well, Jared Quillen has come in to serve 2 times this match, and both times he has committed service errors.
Yeah.
Not what Arnie Ball wants to see.
Not what he wants to do. Sort of hurts his chances for future opportunities.
Well, there was just a cannonball serve that time by Greaves. Dons will have to play the free ball after really a miraculous save. Now the set comes to Katz, and Katz wipes it off the block. So Stu Katz coming in with some big swings. 17-9 in favor of the Buckeyes. Brock Ulrich now comes out. And Jason Hemphill is into the IPFW lineup. I think Arnie's trying to change things up a little bit, maybe take some of the pressure off Ulrich.
And we have a foot fault.
Wow. Well, folks, I have to admit that is an interesting call, because it's much like tennis. When they throw the ball so high and they're striding into it, we see guys sailing. Well, if they're sailing beyond the line, I guess that's okay. What a pancake save that time off the serve by Martin. And then at the net, Hemphill is stuffed by Spurlock. And the Buckeyes rally around the great libero, Connor Martin, who made a tremendous pancake save. What a play by the freshman.
And again, you know, what could have been an unlucky call for Ohio State, they just bounce right back and get the point and the ball back.
Well, the set goes to Serdar Sitcha, but it's kept alive by Greaves. Now the set goes to Stevens. There's Marisi with a good play. Now they send it across to Hemphill. Hemphill, kind of an off-speed ball, and it's played over neatly to Brett Verson, and Verson puts it down. And now, boy, the Buckeye side are really feeling it. 19-10 OSU, and Arnie Ball's just shaking his head, thinking, oh, that just a few minutes ago we had a match point. Now they're getting precariously.
You can't think about that, though.
No,
you know?
can't.
If you're the guys out there, you can't think what the score was, where you've been, what it could have been. You know, you need to play the point that's at hand. And right now they're down 20-10. They need to start something. Even if they don't win this game, at least it'll carry over with momentum into game 5.
Brief delay as Arnie was having some spirited conversation with Mike Alejandro. Dons have to play yet another free ball, though. And a little disguise attempt that time by Ohio State. The Dons answer as they set the ball to Sitcha. Now that time I think Matthews got a little too cute and he had to pay for it. Serdar Sitcha there for the kill.
Well, here's a chance for the Dons to rack up a few points. Matty Brzezinski back to serve again, and he's always been good tonight at least for about 2 or 3.
20-11 Buckeyes. Big serve by Matty. Lunging save by Martin. Set comes across to Stevens, and Stevens miraculously cuts that ball around. He had to play the ball outside the antenna, and he cut it back in.
That's really a phenomenal hit.
Wow. 21-11 now, Ohio State looking to send this to a 5th and deciding game.
And we have the second yellow card of this game issued. The first one was issued to Mike Randolph, and this set was issued to, I think, Matt Paszewski, maybe, I'm not sure, but nonetheless that gives a free point to Ohio State.
Well, Arnie Ball has called a timeout because the wheels are coming off of sorts here in game number 4. Ohio State now back with that 10-point lead at 22-11. And, you know, we saw a couple of shots a while back of Pete Hansen just with kind of a disconsolate look like, well, this could be a short night. Now all of a sudden, the Ohio State bench oozing with confidence, and IPFW going, you know, what happened?
Well, we talked about shaking off mistakes, and here's a good example. I mean, they've just imploded, arguing amongst themselves, arguing with the officials, fretting over plays, and it carries over 1 point, 2 points, and it becomes a spiral. And you need to stop it. You need to stop it as soon as it starts. And you know, at 22-11, let's start now. Let's stop it now. On the other hand, Ohio State has just done a great job of seeing that downward spiral and just pouring the pressure on, becoming more aggressive and letting it fly.
Matthews with the serve. The set goes to Serdar Sitcha. And Serdar Sitcha, his 13th kill. He only has 2 errors. And now it's 22-12. Well, Jason Hemphill will serve. 6'4" sophomore from the North Pole. That's right. Probably has no problem with the Fort Wayne winners. The set goes to Katz, and that time Katz airmails it. That'll be a point for the Dons. So you're right, Steve. Let's see if IPFW can start stringing together a few points.
Right. It's a momentum sport, and if they can run a few points here, it's a start of something good.
Hemphill, though, ends the momentum by serving it into the net. 23-13 now in favor of Ohio State, and Sam Stevens. He's a junior, but only a sophomore eligibility-wise, and he's from Miami. Set that time goes to Sitcha, but Serdar has to flip it. Now a chance for the Dons. Does Jared Quillen get it down? He does! Well, Quillen gets it down, and I've just noticed that Dan McInerney has sneaked into the IPFW lineup, and he's now handling the setting chores. Dons trail, though they still have a bit of a hill to climb, down 23-14. Sitcha with a serve, bumped up by Connor Martin. Set comes to Greaves. And I think Greaves got that one a little bit too long. He did. So a couple of hitting errors now by the Buckeyes.
Well, there's a couple reasons that Coach Ball might have made these subs. Rest his players who've been working so hard, and then maybe throw them back in. Change it up, give a fresh feel to the attitude and emotions. Whatever it is, they're making some runs now.
Dons have a chance, but kind of an errant set there. Quillen does a good job just to keep it alive, and then Verson takes the set and wipes that off the Dons block. Like Dega had the hands up, but it rolled down his chest. So now 24-15, Ohio State.
9-point lead is a tough lead to overcome, especially when a team is leading 24-15 and only needs 6 more points to the 15 that you need. It's, especially in the men's game, it's difficult. But IPFW wants to start stringing some points together. Even if they can't win this game, go in with some momentum to Game 5.
Well, that time it looked like Matthews was trying the one-handed set, but he's not going to get away with that. Rod Rodriguez says, nope, that'll be 2 hits, so, or a lift, I suspect. 24-16.
Hold for a point here now is what the Dons want to do.
Stevens flips it up. Pass goes right down the middle to Scott Spurlock, and Spurlock picks up the kill.
The passing has really tightened up for Ohio State, allowing them to have all their options, which makes the block for IPFW you just have to almost guess.
Katz with a big serve. McInerney sets for Bashevsky. Bashevsky dug up by Katz, and the Dons just totally fall asleep. It was an overpass, just strong enough to get over the net, but fell into no man's land, and really nobody moved.
How do they bounce back from this? That's what, if you're a coach, you're looking for. Who's gonna say enough? Let's go.
Now the set comes to Bashevsky, and that time Matt is blocked by Spurlock and also by the setter Daniel Matthews. So, folks, I got to tell you, I'm not very Kreskin-like, but I'm seeing us going to Game 5. 27-16.
It's a pretty good guess.
About the only thing to stop the Buckeyes is their own serving in this 4th game, and
you know, at 27-17, again, you're right. You know, it's probably going to go to a Game 5. But you want to at least end this game on a rally, on like a 4 or 5 point run, so you go in with more momentum than Ohio State into that Game 5.
Quillen with the serve, bumped up by Greaves. The set goes to Spurlock. They're looking for Spurlock now. It's off the block. Dons will play it. Short ball to Daiga. Right there, though, is Katz. The set comes to Stevens, who just roars down the middle. And he puts it down for the kill. Buckeyes 2 points away from sending this to a 5th and deciding game, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised because in all the home matches that the Dons have played this year, I think the bulk of them have gone to 5.
Ohio State's doing a good job of not relaxing, not being comfortable with this big lead.
Well, an overpass that time by the Dons, and I wind up with the ball on the swing by Spurlock. So it's 29-17. You can almost hear a pin drop now in the Gate Center as the Buckeyes have a game point, and they're a point away from sending this to a 5th and deciding game. Big serve that time by Greaves. Set goes to Bashevsky. Bashevsky off the Buckeye block. Saved, though, by Meskey. Buckeyes are running down every ball now. Katz dug up by Quillen, and there is Spurlock with a ball that he can tee off on like a piñata, and he missed it. Well, that's a break for IPFW, who now trail 29-18, but in effect, the Buckeyes side out, and we're going to 5.
That's a nice rally for IPFW.
Yes.
Some good digs. Hold for a point or two here, and at least you go in.
Well, before you could even say it, Steve, forget holding for the point as Daiga serves it into the net. The service error closes out a dominant Game 4 for Ohio State. The Buckeyes win 30-18. And we will go to a 5th and deciding game. This match is now all even at 2 games apiece. So we'll be back to see if the Dons will wind up winning or will the Buckeyes complete a terrific rally. The 5th and deciding game is coming up on Sports 56.
How many of them did you have?
Last count was almost 100. We had this place filled. All that's left is this note. Seems to say something about leaving to help kids and families.
Where?
In Fort Wayne. Something's going to happen in Fort Wayne.
Captain, you should see this.
Tracks.
They're out there. Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
He was at my door with this note.
Sponsor me?
What'd you do?
I sponsored it. I don't know how it got here, but it needed an artist's touch.
Scores of Mastodons missing from the warehouse, now popping up all over Fort Wayne, asking businesses to sponsor them and artists to decorate them. But why?
So they can be auctioned off to raise money for a worthy cause, like the United Way of Allen County. Just a hunch.
Sponsor a Mastodon and help raise money for the United Way of Allen County.
Along with Steve Florio, Ken Horman here at the Gate Center. We are going to a fifth and deciding game. There is the tail of the tape. The Dons winning the first two, 30-28, 31-29. They had a match point in Game 3, but Ohio State rallied to tie, then took Game 3. Another thriller, 31-29, and then the Buckeyes just dominating the fourth game, 30-18. So, Steve, it comes down to the fifth and deciding game, and we'll see, I guess, which team has the most grit and which team has the most left.
That's right. Throw the stats out the window right now. This game's all about emotions and momentum, as it is right now.
Well, IPFW clearly no stranger to playing, as you would say, five setters. This will be their 8th for the Buckeyes. It'll be their second. Ohio State is 1-0. That coming in a 5-game victory at Ball State, April Fool's Day. And the Dons 3-4 in 5 setters. Sam Stevens to start it off for the Buckeyes. This game is to 15, win by 2. First ball goes to Bashevsky off the block, and then Sitcher, what a save that time by Stevens. Greaves, and Greaves gets the kill as it handcuffs Randolph. What a great point. The Dons had 2 chances, a couple of great saves by the Buckeyes, and they take the first point.
Scrappy defense, making a statement right away. You're going to have to hit harder, they say.
Sam Stevens with a big serve. Ulrich bumps it up. The set goes to Serdar Sitja. Serdar had the fist pumped, but it was ruled wide. So that quick, it's 2-0 OSU.
They cannot panic. A 2-point lead early in a Game 5 is not bad. They need to just settle down.
Stevens with the serve. Randolph sets for Bashevsky, and Bashevsky that time gets it down. That's kill 27 for Bashevsky, and probably none more important.
Well, here's a chance again. Matty Bashevsky serving. Good blocker up at the net, and Serdar Sitja.
Matty through the tape. Stevens bumps it up. Matthews sets for Greaves. I think Greaves may have emailed. No, he did not. He wiped that just off the block. Yeah, I thought it was just inside the baseline, but off the block. Rob Rodriguez said that just tipped one of the Dons at the net. So Greaves does get the kill. Now Verson with the serve. The Dons set for Matt again. Matt with a little flip shot. And it's wide. Just carries a little bit wide. And now the Dons trail 4-1. Arnie Ball is calling timeout very quickly. He does not want to let this slip away in the fifth and deciding game.
No, and it's still early. There's still time left. 4-1 is not a lead that it's impossible to come back on.
We'll be back with more from the Gate Center. You're watching Dons Volleyball on 56 Sports.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Well, back at the Gate Center, and IPFW was on quite a roll, winning the first 2 games, but Ohio State has come thundering back to tie it up at 2 games apiece, leading 4-1 in the 5th and deciding game. Randolph sets for Bashevsky. Bashevsky that time wipes it off the block of Spurlock and Greaves. So another clutch kill for Bashevsky to draw the Dons to within 4-2. Again, the 5th and deciding game in a college match. 2-15, win by 2. Ulrich with a big serve. Connor Martin bumps it up. They battle at the net. And that time, Spurlock strode up, and I think he got a little too much on it and mishit it, so the Dons pick up the point. Whew. Now it's 4-3 in favor of Ohio State. Brock Ulrich, the sidewinding serve. Good play. Now the set goes to Greaves, and Greaves just wipes that off the Dons block for yet another kill. Greaves now with his 25th kill. Bashevsky leads the Dons with 28. Big serve that time by Katz, and there's a battle at the net. Greaves pounds it right off of Randolph, and Greaves picks up another kill, and after the Dons had drawn to within a point, they now trail 6-3.
The passing's breaking down a little bit for IPFW, causing trouble for their offense. Another tough
again at the net, there's a battle. This time Randolph wins it. Randolph in a joust with Greaves. That again was a bit of an overpass. But the Dons come up with a big point. Now trail 6-4. Serdar Sicha.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Greaves here, but what they also have to look out for is setter attack.
And you exactly called that one, Steve. Dons keep it alive. Bashevsky blocked by Spurlock. Now Matt bump sets for Collins. Collins gets it over. Let's see what Matthews tried another one of those plays, and the Dons sniffed it out. Now the set goes to Greaves. Greaves pounds it off the shoulder of Stewart, saved by Ulrich. Now here come the Dons to play the free ball.
Here it comes.
Bumped up by Martin, and there is that little flip shot again by Matthews. I think he was miffed. He was miffed that the first 2 were muffed, and then he got the 3rd one down. So Ohio State again, the crafty Daniel Matthews, and Buckeyes on top 7-4.
Well, Greaves going into the back row is a good thing for the Dons right now. They need to capitalize on the kill leader for Ohio State being back there.
Serves it to the net. Ulrich saves it. Now a diving set that time by Randolph. Bashevsky bumps it over. That time Spurlock just tees off and thunders it off the body of Bashevsky. 8-4 in favor of the Buckeyes, and at the 8th point, there'll be the brief break while the teams switch sides, and Arnie Ball, as he's walking to change benches, he's talking to Mike Randolph, and quite frankly, I think he says, Mike, you or somebody has to make a play.
Yeah, you know, that last set was questionable. I mean, it was obviously he wants to get the ball in Matt Bashevsky's hands. He wants him to do the hitting, but you know, sometimes you just can't get the set there, and maybe a smarter set would have been to Josh Collins.
Another big serve by Greaves. They set it up for Stewart, but now the Ohio State block is starting to work well. Here's Bashevsky. Again, the block by the Buckeyes. Randolph now sets it over for Josh Collins, and Collins gets it over, but crashes right into the standard, and then the Buckeyes cannot believe a call that just went against them. Well, Pete Hansen is questioning.
Well, what the call was,
official.
What the call was the ball was completely on IPFW's side of the net, and the Buckeye reached over.
I think
Spurlock reached over and touched it while it was completely on IPFW's side of the net. Remember, it has to be partially on Ohio State's side for him to do that.
Well, and Josh Collins paid the price, crashing into the standard time, but then Randolph commits a service error, a critical service error.
Yeah.
You just can't have that. You know, you don't want him anytime, but in a 5th game.
No, especially after a really big break like that.
Yep.
And a great play by Collins, smashing into the pole, which is legal, by the way.
Set comes to Bashevsky. Matt with the big swing, and what a block that time by the Buckeyes. Brett Verson. And now it's 10-5 Ohio State. Arnie Ball is calling another timeout. He's just looking for any kind of combination that he can come up with to stem this Ohio State freight train that now is Ohio State that is starting to take over the match.
Well, here you have predictability in its best. you know the ball's going to go to Bashevsky if you're Ohio State. You can't be blockers out on him, and you go to work. IPFW either needs Maddie to beat that, to just put the team on his shoulder and say, you can put 3 blockers on me and I'll still beat it. Or he needs something more out of his players.
Well, there's the big swing by Bashevsky, but what a tremendous block at the net by Brett Verson, the 6'5" sophomore out of Centerville, Ohio. And you know, a guy like Verson, a guy like Sam Stevens, they weren't around the first game and a half, but ever since they've come in, I think their presence has kind of swung things around for Ohio State.
Sure, absolutely, and it's like I said earlier, Greaves is going to get his kills. IPFW needs to keep the rest of the Buckeyes in check, and the Buckeye and those subs, they've done a great job of picking up some of the slack for Greaves, so he doesn't have to do all of it. And that's what Bashevsky needs right now. He needs some of his teammates to pick up some of the slack.
The Arnie Ball timeout worked as Dan Meske committed the service there. So the Dons trail 10-6. This is where they need to roll, right here. Set goes to Stevens. Stevens is blocked by Bashevsky.
It was blocked and then hit off his head and then went out of bounds. So last touch by Ohio State.
Blocked by Bashevsky and Stewart. Then it came right off the body of Stevens and then out of bounds. Ooh, that's a break. And then some. Now 10-7. Good serve by Stevens. Set goes to Stevens. I mean, good serve by Collins, I should have said. And the set goes to Stevens. And now the Dons are putting together a rally. IPFW creeps to within 10-8.
Look for Greaves out of the back row here, maybe. Or they need to protect that setter's dump. It's been way too effective against IPFW.
Back set goes to Katz. Katz wipes that off the IPFW block, and that'll be a point for the Buckeyes, 11-8 OSU.
A good couple points, though, to tighten it up here. Side out here, and they still have the momentum. Side out here, we'll just keep it for them.
High toss and a big serve by Matthews, bumped up by Ulrich. Short ball goes to Stewart. What a block that time by Katz. Now Bashevsky flips it over. Set comes to Katz, and Katz just smokes it. A big swing that time by Stewart Katz. 12-8 Ohio State.
You mentioned Verson, you mentioned Stevens, and Katz is another sub that has really picked up some slack for Ohio State.
Matthews with a serve, and it's a bullet. Almost an overpass that time by Marisi. Really it was. I think Randolph got into the net trying to save it.
What they called Randolph on is an illegal back row attack. He's a back row setter, and he played the ball over the net.
So now it's 13-8 Ohio State. Mike Walligman, who we've not seen much of at all since game number 1, is back in for Ohio State. Buckeyes 2 points from the match.
Yeah, you got to figure this is a blocking substitution.
Back set goes to Bashevsky, and that time Matt smokes it to the floor. Almost a great one-handed save by Connor Martin. Now Sitcha and Jared Quillen will check in, and Marisi and Josh Stewart are out of the IPFW lineup. Well, Dons trail 13-9. They need some instant points. Jared Quillen thumping the ball to the floor as he prepares to serve. Pretty good floater. Ooh, almost handcuffs Greaves. Now they'll have to play a free ball. Chance for the Dons. Bumped up by Collins. Set goes to Bashevsky. Matt tries to get the timing. Diving save that time by Greaves. And then Katz wipes it off the IPFW block of Sitcha and Bashevsky. And now it's match point Ohio State at 14-9 in game 5.
Missed opportunity by IPFW. They got the free ball, and they made not a very good pass on that free ball, limiting their offense.
The serve is bumped up by Ulrich. Back set goes to Bashevsky, and Matt puts it down for another kill. That's Bashevsky's 30th kill. 30 kills in this match for Bashevsky. Arnie Ball is going to sub in a new player for the Dons. I think Mike Dyga's going to get the warm-up off and check into the lineup.
This is purely a blocking substitution here.
Dyga in, Randolph out, Bashevsky to serve.
You got the big hitter in Greaves on the outside. You got to think Ohio State's going to try him for the win.
Oh, what a big serve by Bashevsky. The one-handed save that time, I think that'll be 4 hits on the Buckeyes as Matthews tried to save it, and then the swing went into the net. So there is one match point dodged by IPFW. 14-11 now. Bashevsky will have to come up big again. And we've got some Ohio State fans standing and applauding here. Neat pass by Connor Martin. Back set goes to Katz. And Katz just guides it right off the block of Brock Ulrich. And that will do it. The Ohio State Buckeyes spot IPFW the first 2 games of the match and then come back to win the last 3. You saw Matt Bashevsky kind of bent over in disappointment because he thought maybe he'd close out his senior career with the last regular season victory at home. Nope, not to be. It was denied by the Buckeyes, who rallied to win the next 3 games, and they win it in 5, taking the 5th game 15-11. Well, what an absolute great match this was, Steve. I mean, let's just kind of do a quick wrap up here and just talk about where things look so good for IPFW, and a great, I guess, tribute to Ohio State as they come back to win this match. Now IPFW has to say, okay, let's take positives out of this, and then what do we think about as we get ready for the MIVA tournament?
Yeah, heartbreaker for IPFW. They definitely want to take positives out of this. A really great match played by them. Just fell just a touch short in that game 3, and that was the difference. Tip the hat to Ohio State, though, for staying strong right through that and then making a big 3-game comeback. Some promising things for IPFW in that match, and let's see if they can take the good things with them into the playoffs.
Well, and they'll start the playoffs, the MIVA quarterfinals, a week from tonight, so let's see what the second season does for IPFW. And again, you see the final score, IPFW losing an absolute thriller, but ultimately a heartbreaker to Ohio State. Hey, give the Buckeyes credit, they're the number 11 team in the country, but Ohio State prevails in this one tonight by the final score as the Buckeyes come back to win this one 28-30, 29-31, 31-29, 30-18, and then 15-11 in the deciding 5th game. The Dons conclude regular season play at 11-16, 8-8 in the MIVA, and the Buckeyes an excellent 21-7, now 14-2. They are the second place team in the MIVA. Well, that'll wrap it up here from the Gates Center. We'd like to thank at this time the College 56 production crew, the IPFW athletic staff, the City of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, the IPFW Learning Resource Center, and especially the IPFW Office of University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College 56 sports telecast. This telecast of IPFW sports is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without expressed written consent is strictly prohibited. We hope you enjoyed this telecast of IPFW Sports. Thanks again for joining us this evening. For Steve Florio, I am Kent Horman. Once again, Ohio State defeats IPFW in 5 games, 15-11 in the 5th. Good night, everybody.